Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on the midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream. The shadows of that time are cast beneath the streetlight beam. As the world moves on.
Time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to the Sunday stream. This is more like a sermon. As you guys know, we've always had conversations about who built America. And for the most part, we would hear, Black people shouting from the rooftop saying that they've built America. And a lot of these people, for the most part, from this current generation. So therefore, it's easy. They would shout that they built America. They point to the White House, but it would only be fair to listen to an elder who was much closer to the era of slavery than someone from today. And, we have a very interesting conversation here with a man called Pastor Manning. He's a pastor. This man speaks nothing but truth. Because you see, here in America and, in most places, when you speak the truth, they make it sound like controversial, like what Elliot is saying here. And, the things that I've always brought up. In fact, I believe we have an entire song here made about how Black people pretend like they built all these things. And I look at Africa, for example, right? The Blacks were brought from Africa. And I look at Africa. I love everybody, including African people. I love African people enough to tell African people the truth, just like Pastor Manning is telling Blacks everywhere the truth. You look at it in, South Africa. South Africa is very well built, right? Developed. What does that tell you? That tells you that white people are the builders. Before the white people came to Africa, Africans literally did not build anything. And I'm sure people are going to come here and try to debate, shout, be in their feelings, and they will start talking about Timbuktu and they will talk about Egypt. But That, there's nothing we can really point to at this point. So Pastor Manning answers this question about, did blacks build America? Did they build America? Well, he's a man who doesn't hold no punches. We would listen to Pastor Manning break it down, and also he was asked about FBA, we would get answers on all of that. And the beauty about this is Pastor Manning is doing this interview outside, outside, where there is evidence, proof, where people can point to things. Oh, Elliot said Egypt. Egypt is technically not even in Africa. Did you see those people there in Egypt? They look nothing like the sub-Saharan Africans, us. There's a reason why the pyramids are over there, not, in Nigeria. Okay? So, yeah, let's stop with that. We have to love each other enough to tell each other the truth. It's no hate. It's just in love. It's to break this cycle of, telling one another these fluffs. So hopefully, because look at in Africa, African countries, do you see good roads, sewage system, like a working system? And I'm sure some are going to come and point to cities. I'm saying this to say that just like the white people left Europe and built South Africa, they went to Australia, they did the same thing. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say they did it here too. So wherever they go, they repeat it. If I was seeing huts in Harlem, I would say, yes, the blacks built it. And if blacks have the knowledge of building, where did they get the knowledge from? So we are going to, that's not really the issue here. Today, the conversation is about America. So please get your pens and papers out. For those of you that are new in America or have never been to America, well, welcome to our Black history over here. And this is all, nice, peaceful Sunday conversation, because you see, we've had like these FBA characters that say the Africans are not interested in learning about America. Well, that's where I come into play. So I have taken the time, to make this my thing, to make sure I bring the knowledge, of America to the African masses out there. Because you see, wherever, people have to have correspondence. Like there was somebody that said to me, oh, you don't talk about the Gambian stuff, the politics there. Look, I like to operate, and this is going to hurt people's feelings. I like to operate in higher standards, because I should be able to give and take with you. You should be able to understand what the topic is. But if I'm constantly talking to you about a topic that you know nothing about, you're not interested in knowing anything about, you're wasting your time. So this is why, we create a platform like this where people who are truly interested can come here on this special Sunday and get this good knowledge. I'm not confined in just one location. It's the World Wide Web. This information is available to all of you out there. With that being said, let us go straight to Pastor Manning here. And we have a special music, actually, that I want to use to welcome Pastor Manning's interview. Give me a moment here. Let me find the music for Pastor Manning, because I used to use it here many years ago. We haven't used it in a while. So let me bring the music, because that would be the perfect intro for Pastor Manning here. Wait, what happened to my music? Okay, hold on. Let's see. All right. So here we go. Before we bring Pastor Manning in, let's bring his introduction song.
You a grown ass man. You call me to troll me. Did you get what you want out of this? Did it make you feel better now? There's a difference. I don't bother people I don't like. And this is what you have to deal with niggas. What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
Niggas are the worst people on earth. I do understand why they made them slaves. I think one of the worst things that happened was they stopped making them slaves. If they'd have kept niggas as slaves, we'd have built more shit. We'd have been better people. Whenever black people were under the oppression of white people, they did more. They were more productive people. Name the shit you built since being out of slavery. Name it. Name it. Let me explain. You claim you built DC.
You were enslaved when you did that.
You claim you built the railroads.
You were enslaved when you did that.
Everything you claim you built in America, it's when white people had the whip on your ass. What have you built since? Oh, what have you built since? Nobody wants to talk about the facts. Now all you do is go around and begging white people for shit. All these hoods y'all proud of, white people gave them to you. You didn't build them. What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
Did black people build Cabrini Green? Nope. Did black people build Capitol Homes? Nope. Did black people build Carver Homes? Nope. Did black people build O-Block? Nope. Did black people build any of these things you're talking about? 63rd, 62nd, 69th? Did you build any of that shit? Nope. Did black people build Compton?
What?
Did black people build Compton?
What?
Did black people build Compton? Nope. Let me explain. Black Wall Street. Come on, bro. Black Wall Street. Your ass ain't built Black Wall Street back now, have you? You got all these black millionaires and all these black millionaires who own clothing companies. You could have been built Black Wall Street back a long time. When you hear all these niggas love to go back to Black Wall Street, that tell you black people are lazy and ain't shit. This person said Black Wall Street. Sir, you remember what Black Wall Street was built under? Jim Crow. I'll let you go. What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
What they built, what they did, what they gained.
You wanna live off somebody else's law.
All right. Okay, guys, I'm back. I wonder what happened. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Guys, something weird just happened out of the blue. So we would get on with the show. It's not the Wi-Fi. Um, I guess some of the haters were reporting, but we will continue with the show. Let me know if you guys can hear me. If you guys are here with me, let me know. Uh, Put a one in the comment section. Let me know you are here with me. Let me know you are ready for the Sunday sermon. Abiola said, I thought ice was knocking or sabotage. All right, all right. I see you guys can hear me. So you're ready for the Sunday sermon. I mean, we're determined to make sure the show goes on. Uh, so, all right. So we're gonna go straight to Pastor Manning's interview over here. For whatever reason, I got sabotaged there, but I'm glad we're able to be back here. So let me get you the footage. And I mean, this interview right here is very, very interesting. I mean, super interesting. He touches on a lot. So here we go. Let's go with Pastor Manning.
123rd and Malcolm X. So you remember before the
So this is Pastor Manning over here. He is almost 80 years old. So he's much in a better position to speak on these topics. So we would learn quite a bit here. So I don't want to keep you waiting. Let us hear what this conversation is about. So here we go. And the channel is called Queen's Flip. So Queen's Flip is the one that he goes out there and interview people. So this is raw footage, straight up. These are the people you probably generally don't hear about, the real Black people. So let's hear from Pastor Manning here. Let's go.
what was the street name before this one?
Lennox Avenue.
So it was always Lennox Avenue.
Yeah,
Okay.
from the early days.
In the early days.
New Amsterdam days.
And they called out. But how did you feel about Malcolm X?
And remember, this is a Black elder. He was alive during the 60s. He's aware of who Malcolm X is. So there's no, keeping, trying to cape here. We are all going to learn over here today. So here we go.
I think that up until the point in time where he ratted out Elijah Muhammad, I thought he was okay. What he did to the founder of the Nation of Islam, well, I don't approve of that idea whatsoever in any way. However, he was able to speak to the Black man and tell him, you need to clean up your act. You need to get your family together, bro. You need to stop all this drinking and drugging and cutting and shooting and carrying on. He stopped them. He really did clean up thousands of Black men. He told them the truth about themselves. They accepted it from him. They don't accept it from me. And Malcolm was the one who got his act together. He helped Malcolm call him. He'd been a small-time thief.
Oh yeah. I think the platform, guys, sorry about that. Let me use this video from a different platform. I think that would be much better. All right, let me stream it directly from YouTube. Maybe that's what they prefer. So I think that would work better. Okay, let's give that a shot. Here we go.
Malcolm X. So you remember before this was, what was the street name before this one?
Lennox Avenue.
So it was always Lennox Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the early days.
In the early days.
New Amsterdam days.
And they called out. But how did you feel about Malcolm X?
I think that up until the point in time where he ratted out Elijah Muhammad, I thought he was okay. What he did to the founder of the Nation of Islam, well, I don't approve of that idea whatsoever in any way. However, he was able to speak to the black man and tell him, you need to clean up your act. You need to get your family together, bro. You need to stop all this drinking and drugging and cutting and shooting and carrying on. He stopped them. He really did clean up thousands of black men. He told them the truth about themselves. They accepted it from him. They don't accept it from me. And Malcolm was one who got his act together.
So he's speaking about Malcolm X. So this guy is old. I mean, he lived during that time. So he's telling us real life experience, not someone coming up here telling us about books. He's telling us real experience. So let's hear more of him. He's talking about how Malcolm X, was able to clean his own act and help clean the community's act. So that's valuable information.
Together. He helped Malcolm call him, he'd been a small-time thief, Malcolm was. That's all he ever was. But when he said to the world that Elijah Muhammad had children out of wedlock and he should not be recognized as a person of honor, I thought that was a bit chump for another man to talk about another man like that. I didn't think that was, I thought that was weak of him to do that.
Do you remember that Dr. King said, they said that Dr. King said before he passed away that he led...
So he's speaking about, he disagreed with Malcolm X exposing Elijah Muhammad. So here's the meat and potatoes of the conversation. So he's going to ask him about the phrase that a lot of these pro-blacks like to throw out, saying, Martin Luther King said he worked the blacks into a burning house. So Pastor Manning is going to respond to this.
Black people into a burning building. Is that the phrase that he acknowledged that he might have been making a mistake when he wanted to? So he never said that. He never acknowledged.
No, Dr. King said it, but Malcolm did not lead people into a burning building.
No, not Malcolm. No, Dr. King said it about himself, not Malcolm.
Or they led people into a burning building.
So there's something that says that before Dr. King passed, he said that basically his ideologies, I don't know if, I don't want to, let me look it up because I want to ask you how you.
So while he looks it up, most of you have heard this phrase where these pro-blacks will be like, oh yeah, Martin Luther King said he worked, blacks into a burning building. So Pastor Manning, who's a black elder, let's hear what his take will be on that, narrative.
Feel about this? I want to ask you how you feel about this. Dr. King, he led black people. I'm gonna get the quote for you guys. Give me a second.
The pastor is patiently waiting too, you see? So we're getting the real deal here. He's patient, he's waiting.
He said the quote. We have fought hard and long for integration, and I believe we should have, and I know that we will win, but I've come to believe we're integrating into a burning house.
Yeah, I remember semblance of that phrase. He was wrong. What he was saying,
he said Martin Luther King is wrong. So let's hear why he thinks he's wrong for that phrase.
is that, well, let me say it this way, is that what he was doing was accusing white people of being degenerates, accusing white folk of being insensitive, accusing white folk of being full of hate. And so he called America a burning house. America is not a burning house. It isn't. It's one of the most successful nations in the history of the universe. Whether you like it or not, whether you like America or not, that's not the issue. But
this is a fact. How many times have you guys heard me say America is the greatest country on this side of heaven? So even though, like, you got, you know, people who have like this hate for America, they hate to hear that truth, but they cannot name a place greater than America. So Pastor Manning is with reality. So let's hear him, you know, proceed.
you don't deny the reality. There's never been a nation as powerful as America. America is not a burning house. So when, of course, I don't think he was successful in leading black folk into America. They were already in America before he came along. He led them away. Marcus Garvey tried to lead them out back to Africa. W.E.B. Du Bois was one of the ones who tried to.
So what Pastor Manning is saying is blacks were already here way before, you know, Martin Luther King, which makes sense. They lived in America, living their lives. So he's saying that MLK came along and tried to lead them mentally away from America. That's what he's saying. Then it's interesting, his take on Marcus Garvey. He said Marcus Garvey came along, you know, the Pan-African prophet. So Marcus Garvey wants to lead them out of America to Africa. So this back to Africa have been going on for a long time. So he's speaking about all the, you know, the black heroes, the ones that all these narratives we hear, they are prophets. This is who he is talking about. And you can tell the man is doing this from a place of love. He's explaining what is real. So here we go.
Integrate before King came along. But no, America's not a burning house, and King was wrong.
Do you like Marcus Garvey? Because a lot of people like FBA. Have you heard about ADOS and FBA, Federal Foundation of Black America? ADOS is American Descendants of Slavery. You never heard about those people? No. Okay.
So, Pastor Manning, so you guys are seeing, so the FBA, they are just loud on the internet. Pastor Manning never even heard of them. And they would fight and say Pastor Manning is part of them. You see, he didn't even give them a second thought. Like, it's like, you know, wishing of a fly. Like, so they don't exist in his world. But let's hear him, you know, answer some more questions here.
So, a lot. Hey, what you looking at?
Okay. I know that church.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you was wilding, man. I thought you lost your mind. Say, Pastor, what you doing? Boy? You all right? I thought you was checking. I'm good. So, they don't really like Marcus Garvey. They feel like that Marcus Garvey. They keep saying that there's a letter that Marcus Garvey wrote to the Ku Klux Klan. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's a theory going around and why. And they feel like he's Jamaican and, you know, American descendants of slavery. Like, our ancestors helped build this country and we are entitled to reparations, and somebody who comes from another country should not come and tell us what to do as far as Black American business. There's a thing going. I don't know if you're aware of it, but that's the thing on the internet.
Let me ask you a question.
So watch this. So he mentioned, you know, Queen's Flip is with the internet, you know, FBA narrative. He laid it out to Pastor Manning. Pastor Manning, even though he doesn't know who FBA group is, but he knows the narrative. So let's hear from the elder. Pastor Manning is an elder. He's not an internet meme. He's an elder. So since the FBA's claim they built America, let's hear what Pastor Manning thinks about that.
Have you seen the New York skyline, let's say from Battery Park up to like 59th Street, and all the buildings where they take a picture of all the buildings, skyscrapers, feed their fingers of the buildings scraping the sky?
Yeah.
And all these massive amount of buildings right in New York City. That's just up to 59th Street.
So imagine that. He painted a picture for you. New York skyline. New York. If you've never been there, Google what New York looks like, the skyline. So Pastor Manning is painting you a picture. So since the blacks said they built America, so let's hear him tell us, did blacks build that beautiful skyline? Here we go.
Can you point out among those literally thousands of buildings, one that was built by a black man?
No. I have to do my research.
One that's owned by a black man?
I have to do my research. I don't know. There's no.
What about all these buildings over here? What about this church? What about these houses? Which one of those are built by a black man?
I have no idea.
Right? The reason why you don't know is because black man hasn't built in it. So this business about
So you've seen and heard that. So Pastor Manning asked the host here interviewing him, amongst those thousands of buildings in the New York skyline, those tall buildings you see, the skyscrapers, he asked him to point out to even one single one of them that was built by a black man or owned by a black man. He couldn't point out any. So right where they are standing, he pointed at buildings to show me which one black people have built. The guy could not answer it. So let's hear him tell it more.
Black man building America is a poison that's being poured into the lives of people that is blatantly and patently untrue. It is blatantly and patently untrue.
But
you hear that? So he said, telling black people they built America when they didn't, it's like it's a poison. He said it's a poison. So we've established, he's pointed at buildings, even the man asking him could not point one that black people built. Talked about the famous New York skyline, not a single building was built by blacks. So Pastor Manning is doing this from a place of love. So here we go.
bought this building, Pastor.
But I didn't build it. But I bought it. I didn't build it. Someone else built it. I think it was the Dutch that built this building years ago.
So Pastor Manning, the guy said, but Pastor Manning, what about your building? He said, I bought it, I didn't build it. Bingo. So the blacks won. It's just like in South Africa, the whites built those buildings. And is it such a coincidence that they are Dutch too? The Dutch built New York, most of it.
It's not that you're not saying that we're not capable of building a building.
No, of course not.
But maybe that we're not given opportunities to build a building, Pastor.
That's partially true.
Do you believe in the whole redlining thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so what do you think we should do in order to get those jobs, or in order to build? Because then if you're saying that, do you see that building? No, black folks ain't built it. Black folks ain't built the skyline and stuff like that. But what if black folks are not given an opportunity to build it, or given the jobs to build it, or give, the contracts?
And what we need to do, find out how come. The reason being the white man is preventing us from doing it because he recognizes that it would give us a sense of power, of development and ownership that he may not be willing to release right now. So what we need to do, but then who are our leaders? We need to put somebody who can fight that white man, who can stop him from stopping us. We need to be able to find the leadership skills. Okay, if we're being redlined, if we're being prevented from access to capital, access to building, access to education. We need to find somebody who can get us that access. We need to find somebody like Toussaint Louverture. We need to find somebody who says, white man, you pushed us far enough, damn it, and we ain't going no further. We're going to build our own, we're going to have our own, we're going to own our own. That's what I'm going to do.
Did you guys hear what he said? So it's not like Pastor Manning is just over here pointing out faults or trying to, take away from black people. He said, yes, he acknowledged the redlining. He acknowledged not having access. And he brought the solution. He said, what black people need is someone who would be able to fight that system like Toussaint Louverture. This is the Haitian revolutionaries who fought the French. Remember how FBA said other blacks didn't fight? So Pastor Manning, he knows his history as well, and he's an elder. He's correct. All these Tariq Nasheeds and others, those are not the real leaders. Those are the bootlickers. Those people are not there to challenge the status quo, the system. Those people are just hustlers. So the man is letting you know what is needed is real leadership. I mean, let's be honest. Some of you might be in your feelings, but can you point out one lie this man has said here? Everything he's saying makes sense. Okay, sure. He's like, yes, all these, obstacles are there. But then he points out to what the solution is. And he's not sitting there waiting for a savior. He's like, that's what he is doing. And you can see he's got a nice big building. So here we go.
I feel like the black man can be in this world without the white man. You feel like,
Of course.
So you don't feel like we need the white man?
No, of course not.
Okay. Ooh, all right. Pastor, I ain't gonna lie, you grew a little bit. Oh, all right, okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Whoa, all right.
No,
I'm so sorry.
I'm just telling you the truth. That's all.
And I appreciate that. And so I came here with a different.
Let's walk over here. Come on.
Oh, snap. Oh,
Can we walk over here?
sure. Oh,
So that's the pastor's, Maybach SUV. So Pastor Manning is living good. He's living good.
I want you to
oh yeah.
see this announcement board. In the event of all the things that you're going to do, you need to pop that up. So I just want to get that in.
Boycott New York One News, washed up Errol Lewis, Fat Cheryl.
So, you know how like at the churches, they put out their announcements. So Pastor Manning, this is the announcement he put out. So this pastor, he keeps it real. Apparently, there are people who got issues with him. So he's responding back. He said, boycott New York One News, washed up Errol Lewis, Fat Cheryl Wills, and hair dye Dean Menninger. Oh my God. Well, yeah. Look, the pastor keeps it real. Let's hear what he got to say, because you know how like people want to say, oh, pastor, you can say that. You got to massage people's feelings. So I want to give, I just want to show you how much he keeps it real. So here we go.
Willis and hair dye Dean who?
Meminger. Yeah, him.
That's not nice.
Well, I didn't mean to be nice. What do you want? I'm not celebrating their birthday or anything.
So why boycott the New York One? Are you talking about New York One News? Like,
Yeah, the New York One News.
why should we boycott that?
Because they're boycotting me.
See, it's as simple as that. People want to give complicated answers. So New York One News started it. They boycotted Pastor Manning. And Pastor Manning, he's an entity. He's got his church. He can put his signs out. Just like how when you drive by, you see those signs on the churches. So the guy's like, oh, but pastor, that's not nice. You know how people use those languages. Yeah, but he didn't put it up to be nice. He put it up to keep it real, because it's not nice what they're doing to him. They are boycotting him. And the man, Pastor Manning, is running for the mayoral seat in New York. This guy would be the perfect mayor for that city. But New York one is boycotting him. So here we go.
Really?
You think they would come and do what you're doing right now? You're interviewing me. Right? I have something to say. Don't you agree?
You do have something to say, yes.
Don't you think I have something to say to both black and white folk? Why is it that you've never seen me on New York One?
I don't know. Because, but you got kind of controversial thoughts, Pastor. I mean, now it's a little, now I get
So what you got to do? You're only going to have thoughts that you agree with to be on the news?
No.
You don't.
That's a great question. So, like, clearly what Pastor is pointing out, that's the truth. Because you see, what people do is they're like, oh, what this guy is saying is hurting my feelings. So we have to, cancel him. And over here, even on the internet, people are doing this. They do this in the communities as well. When you point out how people, are lazy, they're out there begging, and you're letting them know, look, man, if all of you sit here, putting your hands out begging, one individual, that individual is eventually going to be poor like you. And all of you would be, asked out. But everybody have to, do the little that they can do. You see? I mean, if you can't run, you can walk. Okay? And if you can't fly, you can walk. Martin Luther King said it. I mean, I didn't say it word for word, but it makes sense. So Pastor is returning the energy. And people, you don't have to only give TV platforms to only the people you agree with. I mean, how are you going to grow? You're not going to grow. That means you just want to listen to the people that agree with your feelings, even though practically we can see that, what you are saying, it's not true. But you don't want to hear the facts from other people. You just want to exist in this fake world. And you know what? You're going to see this example right here, live on TV, while they're interviewing Pastor Manning. Apparently, so it turns out a TV1 broadcaster lived, in his neighborhood. And you're going to see the woman would walk around, because it's like some of these people, they just want you to tell them what they want to hear. So let's see what Pastor Manning does when he's confronted.
Agree with me?
I don't agree with you.
Talk to me.
Hello.
Hi, sorry, I'm just intrigued because I'm intrigued. No, I can't be on camera, sorry.
How you doing, brother?
How you doing,
Bless?
how you doing, homie?
My kids are just intrigued that they've learned that Jesus is kind. And so every day when they walk by, they say,
She said she can't be on
man
camera.
of Jesus, why isn't he kind?
So did you guys hear the pastor say, how you doing, homie? So this pastor knows everything. He's from the streets. He's familiar with everything. So this woman, being a Jezebel, can handle Pastor Manning's truth. They don't want you to be truthful, especially if you're black. And look at Pastor Manning. He's not the type to, mess around. So let's see how he handles this woman that's coming up to Pastor Manning to try to get him to be quote unquote sensitive to people's feelings. And they don't realize, like, the truth knows no feelings. So let's hear her confront Pastor Manning's about his some of the things he says.
And I don't know how to answer that.
Tell them that Jesus are going to send every evildoer to a burning hell.
He was always kind. Even to the sinners, he was kind.
I'm kind too.
Your words are not kind.
But
your words are actually
Guys, isn't it funny how, like, women like her, they pretend to be Christian. But when you read in the book, the things that they want you to not say, and the penalties, the God they say they serve, God says he's going to burn people that do that. It's written, but they said they believe in God. But the person who's repeating what God himself wrote, they have a problem with that person. They are confronting the man who is repeating what the God that she said she believes in. So let's hear what, the pastor is saying. Look, I don't care what you tell your kids, but here's the truth. Just like he's telling black people the truth that they didn't build America. So here we go.
But are you refuting the fact? Are you refuting the fact? And are you are misleading your children? Are you? They need to know. They need to know that every sinner is going to hell. Every sinner, Jesus will send people to hell for every sin that they do. It's not raising my voice. I'm telling you the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. Jesus, why is there a hell? Who built hell? Who's the one who gives foundation to hell? Who's the one that gives the power for hell to exist? Who's the one that gives the sentence? Who's the ones that judge? Who's the one that judges who goes to hell?
The Holy Spirit started speaking through the pastor. When the spirit of Satan comes face to face with the Holy Spirit, let's see who's gonna win.
Jesus is the one that judges who goes to hell. And you're going to go too for your confrontation of me.
Jesus told you to give love.
You're going to.
And you're not giving love.
I'm giving you love. I'm giving you good advice. I'm giving you good advice right now. Straighten up, get right, live right before Jesus. No, you don't know. You know that the words of Jesus are true. Not you.
Giving love
Jesus.
On this corner, you know you are wrong.
No, listen. You know you are wrong, and you know you're going to hell, and Jesus going to be the one that send you there. You see?
Oh, I see. Pastor, this is what you go through?
All the time.
This is what you go through?
All the time.
So yeah, did you guys see that? I mean, guys, are you guys, truly, tell me you got the spirit of the Jezebel without even saying it. Why is this woman so disturbed? She says she believes in God, but she's so disturbed by Pastor Manning to a point she has to confront Pastor Manning. Have you guys, I don't know if some of you, you've seen these street side preachers. They would be preaching about God and Jesus on the street. And then it's usually some Jezebel like her who, for whatever reason, just her spirit cannot take it. She would, just like she did, they would go and confront the pastor. And at the same time, they're like, I believe in God. But let's keep it real. The pastor asked a good question. The God that woman said she believed in, isn't that the same God that built, hell and heaven? Why is she only focusing on heaven? God built both. And God said there are actions, there are things that when you do those, you will go to heaven. And there are things that you do, you will go to hell. Meaning those who follow God in the good books, would go to heaven. Because heaven, that's where God lives. The devil, the demon, lives in hell. So if pastor, why would you be mad at the pastor? Right? Okay. So Pastor Manning, let me show you the last clip of Pastor Manning. He is talking about his history for you to understand where he's coming from, talking about his grandfather, his background, and the whole 9 yards. So let me bring that for you, and then I'll open up the line.
People want to see strength. We're in a very trying time in our world globally. People want to see men of strength and of character. And what I do, weak people disagree with, but the majority of people love what I do. I'm not crazy, you know that. there is no way I would think I had a snowball's chance in hell of becoming the mayor if she was the majority of people that are going to vote for me and make me mayor. Because they want somebody who will fight the system. They want somebody who will call a truth a truth. They want somebody who will finally stand up and do what I did on this corner in each one today. That's what they're looking for. Remember that. I don't know how your podcast is. Maybe you're very popular. I hadn't heard about you before, but I see people know who you are.
Is that a good thing? If people know who I am?
But you can become more popular. Tell people the truth. And if you love God's people, tell them to stop this lie about we built America, because we didn't. Now we can, but we didn't. If you want to help people, don't let people.
So you think that's a fake story when they said that America was built on black people's backs?
Yes, it is.
So what if they show evidence, Pat? What about your ancestors, Pastor? What about your ancestors? What would they say?
About what?
About what you're saying. Your ancestors. Where's your family from?
My grandfather's name is Charlie Patterson. He was born in 1863. That's the year of the Emancipation Proclamation that Abraham Lincoln ordered all slavery set free. However, we were living in rural North Carolina. The Civil War ended in 1865. And at that point, legislatively, because of federalism, all nations had to set their slaves free.
So he's giving you real history here. This is not one of those things people jumping, oh, I'm Indian, I'm this. This man is giving it to you, and you heard his background. So let's hear a little bit more, and then I'll open up the lines here.
My grandfather, Charlie Patterson, was born a slave. I'm 78 years of age. He died at the age of 94. When I was 6 years old, I walked through the cotton fields of North Carolina, holding the hand of my grandfather, who was born a slave. I've actually touched.
So you're hearing this. He is 78 years old. His grandfather is letting you know directly. His grandfather, he was a slave, that direct slave. Someone owned him and he was free. So if he's 78, if you think about it, slavery, 1868 to now, that's like about 150 years. So someone that's 78, yeah, he could have met his grandfather who was a slave back then. So he's got first-hand knowledge about it. So let's hear him.
The hand of a man that was a slave. I lived as a sharecropper for 18 years in rural North Carolina, picking cotton, cropping tobacco. All of my ancestors did basically the same thing. They're proud of me, what I've made of myself. First of all, I used to have a lot of hate for white folk, or misunderstanding for white folk. It led me to crime. That misunderstanding led me to the chain gang.
So you see, he's letting you know, at one point he was brainwashed to hate white people, and it led him to crime, which makes sense, because once you develop hate in your heart, you act on that hate, you end up becoming a criminal. So here we go.
Put me in jail, trying to get back at white folk. Listen to all the rhetoric of Rap Brown, Stokely Carmichael, Dick Gregory, that whole crowd that said we built America, white man owns us. I listened to that, and it put me in jail. It caused me to desert my children and my family's children for years. But inside jail, I found Jesus, and he told me the truth that I'm the toughest prisons in America, from Dannemora to Union Correctional Facility in Rayford, Florida. I'm nobody's chump. Not hardly that way. And I will never, ever stop telling people the truth, even though they walk away and curse me and hate me. I know that the truth will ultimately set them free, the way I got set free. So if you ask me what do they think about me, what do you think they think about me? I've done a lot. Imagine coming from the chain gang and going to the mayor's office.
So think about it. This man, directly from the slaves, you know, his grandfather was directly a slave. He's picked cotton in the cotton fields as a sharecropper. Okay? So he's got first-hand experience and knowledge. That's why he's able to tell the truth with conviction, no matter what. So let's let him cook a little bit. Musa, I see you there. I'll bring you up in a second. Guys, the link is in the chat. If you want to come join the Sunday Good Salmon conversation here, we want to hear your take on what Pastor Manning is talking about.
Or even having the audacity to think that I can. Who do you know has risen at that level? 780. Malcolm has done something.
Watch it.
Who do you know that have built a building like this spiritually after being on the chain gang? Let me say something to you. The chain gang experience is so demoralizing. When you go through the prison system with all the homosexuality, all the brutality, and on that chain gang, it demoralizes you. You feel you're less than a man. To regroup yourself again and try to restructure your life after living such an existence, very few people accomplish that. Very few people accomplish.
Pastor Manning is letting you know he came from the chain gangs, how hard his life is. This man came straight from the bottom to where he is. You know, he's letting you know you have to overcome all these things. So he pulled himself by the bootstrap. You know, that's what he's letting you know. So
when I was in prison, Jesus didn't come because he loved me. He came to save me. Jesus came not to tell me he was a nice guy. He came to tell me that I deserted my children, that I'm less than a man for having deserted my children, left my wife to feed, pay rent, take those children to babysitter while she went to work. Jesus came to tell me the people I robbed and stole from. Jesus came to tell me the women I abused, had sex with them, threw them out my bed, had sex with another one. Jesus came to tell me what an awful person I was. He didn't come to tell me about love.
All right. So you've seen and heard that. Pastor Manning gave the good, Sunday sermon. He kept it real with the blacks to let the blacks know that they did not build America as they like to spew all over the internet. Let me welcome the speakers in. I have Musa in the house and I have Ola. Happy Sunday, Musa.
Yes, happy Sunday to you, Afidamis. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Yes, welcome in the house, Musa. Musa, are you shocked to see Pastor Manning saying that the blacks did not build America, and he gave examples?
Fidamis, everybody knows, if you've been in America for quite some time, like you would know, like the way these people behave, you will know that not all of them, but a good number of them, the way they behave, you would know they would not have this capacity to build America, to build modern day America. There's no way. There is no way in hell they would build a society like that.
What do you think about Pastor Manning's take versus the black narrative?
Listen, Pastor Manning is the truth. Like, listen, anytime that you see someone like Pastor Manning, Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, if these people speak the truth about some of these people, not all of them, because some of them, they are doing incredibly well. But the ones that are very delusional, these are the ones that I'm talking about. They will tell these people that, oh, you're not one of us. You are a coon. You are not FBA. You are Caribbean. I mean, just before I hop in, there was one of them that said, oh, Pastor Manning, he's not African American. He's not FBA. He's a Caribbean.
See, Pastor Manning talks about even Africa. He is realistic, okay?
Very realistic. The thing is, Aphrodamis, a lot of these people are in denial. They don't like the truth, man. Like one thing in the Bible says this, and I forgot the verse that says it. It says that you will know the truth, and then the truth will set you free.
That's right. Look at what
The,
Philip is saying. Philip said he is uneducated and he comes from multiple generations of lack of education. Sharecroppers, give me a break. But you see, now you got to think about it. Isn't this is the narrative they use and say this is what white people did to us? But now they use people who came
I
from
like
the background of Pastor Manning. And here's Pastor Manning, telling his experience, but he's been dismissive of his experience.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I like Philip, man. Like Philip Lindsay, he's a cool brother. I like him. I guess he has a different of opinion and on this subject matter. But yeah,
I mean,
man.
sure, but those are not disqualifying factors. I mean, you can debunk, you can come and say, okay, what this man is saying is not true, and here is the proof. He is standing there with the man, and he talked about the New York skyline. There are thousands of buildings in the New York skyline. He asked him to point out one that was built by blacks. A black man.
None of them were built by blacks.
Own one. There is none.
None of them. None of
There
them.
is none. So Pastor Manning, no one can say he's lying.
I grew up in New York. I used to go to Harlem all the time. I used to go to Harlem, like the East Side, Lower Manhattan. I used to venture to these places all the time.
Oh yeah, you're from the East Coast before you went down south. Yeah.
Before I moved down south. When I moved down south, I moved to
White
Memphis.
Plains.
Hold on, Afrodamus. I moved to Memphis first. So I
Memphis.
stayed in Memphis.
You mean Memphrica?
Memphis. So I stayed in Memphis for a little while. I'm like, damn. It seems to me that I'm back in Haiti. I was like, man, I gotta go to Nashville, man. So I've been staying in Nashville ever since. I still like
so you closer to the white people. You closer to the white people.
Listen, I had to go where white people built their stuff, man. I could not stay in Memphis. It reminds me of Port-au-Prince. So I did not want to stay there.
But see, Musa, what do you make of this where Pastor Manning made this statement when he was saying that because he laid it out and then he pointed out that what black people need is a fighter, someone who would fight, right? And the sample he gave was the sample he gave was Toussaint Louverture, a Haitian. But the FBA, are you shocked that he did not even know who they are and he didn't want to acknowledge them?
No one knows what FBA is outside of the internet. Like my children are half FBA, so-called half FBA. And when I asked my mother-in-law, like, do you know what FBA is? She said, no, what the hell is that? I said, like, they are foundational Black American. And she responded to me and said, what on earth have we ever founded? Like, we're not foundational to nothing, and we are descendant of enslaved Africans. That's what she said. And she's a Black American. She never said to me, oh, we founded this country. Like we are the foundation of America. She was like, no, we are descendant of enslaved African. We were not asked to be here. Like they brought us to this land. She never said to me like she's a Native American, she's indigenous to America. She never uttered those words to me. So she don't even know what FBA is. And even within FBA,
so that means you look at it, this FBA is an intelligent man like Pastor Manning is pointing out to real leaders like Toussaint Louverture. Like, I mean, FBAs, they gotta look up to other blacks outside, but it's the same black.
But who they are going to look up to? They're going to look up to Tariq Nasheed. Is Tariq Nasheed ready to fight against so-called white supremacy?
He lives in Whiteville.
He lives amongst the white supremacy. Come on now, Afrodamus. All of this is a joke.
That's like me saying, you think, Musa, if I say, yeah, I'm fighting white people while I'm over here, going to Whole Foods, going to all the white places. All, the trails I take is white trails. I ride bikes around white people. I go to white restaurants.
The car I'm driving is made by white people.
By white people. Everything is made by white people.
You can't make this thing
So,
up,
like,
man.
would you trust me if I say that?
I
That's
would
why
not trust you at all. I would
DiCaprio,
not take you
it's
serious.
Whole Foods, not Walmart. That's right. Let's bring in Ola.
I would not take you serious at all, man. If
Exactly.
you say this stuff to me, I would not take you serious. I would just laugh at you.
Yeah.
Period.
And that's what we're doing over here. Ola, welcome to the Afrodamus Report.
Oh, thank you, Afrodamus.
Ola, are you shocked to see that, Pastor Manning exists here still in this day and age of all the loud noise these blacks have been making online? And are you shocked that none of those buildings were built by blacks?
Definitely they were not built by black people at all. You have to understand, you build things that your ancestors already know how to build. You see, the soil of New York is almost identical like the soil of Amsterdam in Holland, called the Netherlands. Some of those buildings that man will show you in New York. If you come to Amsterdam, you will see exactly the same buildings going on in Amsterdam.
And if you go to South Africa, you will probably see.
Yeah, you see the same thing. If you go to a place what they call Harlem,
But you see, Ola, I know this must be hard for you to see Pastor Manning telling this truth, because Ola, I know, like, you are rooting for the blacks, you love the blacks, you want to see that the blacks are heroes. In fact, because Pastor Manning said how, the blacks said America was built on their backs, but to find out it wasn't, and Pastor Manning's grandfather was a slave, direct slave. He even picked cotton himself. Are you sad to see that the blacks did not, in fact, build this building? They were just picking cotton.
They can't build this building. The names that will build this building are the Irish. You have to understand, for you to set these blocks in some of this swamp soil, you understand me? You have to come from people that understand the soil. The Africans that they imported from Africa to United States, they know what called red soil. They call it hard soil. So they are building, if you check their building, you see the building that the blacks live in the southern part of United States, those small little wooden buildings and everything. These are the buildings the blacks build, because it's almost identical to kind of like the mud hut they're building.
Yeah, because Ola, it would have made sense if they built like the blacks were building mud houses, like in some village in Congo, Nigeria. Yeah, we would say yes, the blacks built, like they built it with mud and sticks, right?
But for you to build those buildings, right? For you to lay those blocks, you understand? It's a total different techniques to lay these blocks one by one, and have to also isolate it also. Because of those, they have to use this block also to isolate, so that they will not have what's called cold. Like New York is very, very cold. So the way they set this building up, the Africans they brought from Africa doesn't know the system, the techniques of building this thing at top. They can't trade them like that, because some of them inherited it from their ancestors also. That's why you see the Dutch are very good in water, how to build canal, all these things.
Ola, when I was first dropped in New York City straight from Africa, I looked around. I thought I was in a Star Wars movie.
I like that pastor. I like the pastor. He's saying the truth. There's no shame about it. What the Black America would have been saying is this. You see, nobody meant. You see, the Haitians.
Ola, your wife's people built New York.
As if you come to Amsterdam.
So Ola, you directly, your kids have their foundation to New York. They own New York. Their blood partly built New York.
Yeah, you have to understand. New York is almost like what they call the New Amsterdam.
Yeah.
You understand me? If you come to if you go over to Amsterdam and all those areas called the Amsterdam, what called the Holland, right? From Harlem and all these places, right? You see identical buildings, right? Huge buildings. Then if you go down, this I will let you know now because I visited that area. If you go down to what called they call the place called Orok. Orok, these are fishermen. If you stand there, you see that big boat, huge ships, bigger than 10-story building. These guys are fishing with huge buildings.
No, Ola, even before you get that far, when I came straight from the plane, I thought I was in Star Wars. I went, we had pizza. I didn't even, nobody even, I was like, yeah, I saw some of the blacks. I said to myself, there's no way the blacks built this place. They lied to us in Africa. They didn't build this.
You can say the blacks pick the farm, the cottons, the potatoes. Even the potatoes will even be difficult to look. Africa doesn't know potato. Potato is kind of like imported food to them, right? You can say the cotton because they already start doing cotton in Africa already.
Right.
Before they took them to
United States.
And the rice and some of these farm crops and everything. You understand? You can say okay, they joined to construct a road by digging it, trying to by manpower, some of these things. But the buildings, you can add the Irish into it before the Italians. Then when the Italians came into it, the Italians also started doing it also. You understand me? So it was not exactly the Africans they brought from West Africa or Congo or Angola that they don't know how to build this thing. Mud house, yes, they're very good. That's where you could see that when the blacks are building their houses, right? If you check if you check their houses, those little woody houses that they build and everything, that's called a dedicated type of building that they imagine their head they left in Africa. If you go to the Caribbeans, right? If you go to the Caribbean, that's where you say, oh, Caribbean look like Africa. It's because of the imagination and the taste of what they already have in Africa. That's what they're able to replace or to able to reproduce everywhere, anywhere, they're staying. That's just the truth. All these block buildings, modern block, using sand and everything, the British came with these things. You understand me?
Exactly.
Some of these block buildings you will also see in their new world. The Australians were also building to also there also some of these new Australians that came there also. If you go to Australia, it's just the same type of building also. It is the English, it is the Western Europeans that can build some of these buildings, what you're seeing now. And their ancestors have been right from the Vikings time, rolling on boats. They built boats. They built huge.
So Ola, your kids, their grandfathers built, built New York. But thank you. Let's bring in Kedo. We'll get back to you. Kedo, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Yeah, thanks for welcoming me.
Kedo, are you shocked to see Pastor Manning coming out? This is an elder, by the way. His grandfather was a slave, as you heard him. He said he walked with, literally, he's one of the few people in this generation that can say, I walked hand in hand and touched the hand of an actual slave. And he used to be in the plantation, as sharecroppers picking cotton. Are you shocked to hear that, like the group that colonized your country, in fact, did not build America? The America that Africans admire. Are you sad, shocked, or in disbelief?
Well, first we have to make that correction. It was America that colonized, or not them, because America's, when you read the deep history, you see that America colonized it and sent them there. That's the history.
But
even the country was named by a white man. So let's forget about that. So, but when it comes to that,
are you shocked and disappointed by Pastor Manning saying this on a Sunday?
So
I'm playing it on Sunday.
I'm not shocked about it. I am not shocked about it. But what I want to say, I have some things to say that may not be that. I have some things I agree with him, some things I don't agree with him on.
Go for it. You see,
what I want but let me explain myself now, right?
No, I want you to say nothing but the truth, because you see, Kedo, I went to a Catholic all-boys school most of my life
Okay.
in Africa. And I remember, from the 7th grade all the way to the 12th grade, in front of my book, where I'm giving this book in the Catholic school, it says, "The truth shall set you free." Recta sapere. So tell us nothing but the truth. Go for it.
All right. So the first thing we need to know is what kind of work the slaves were doing when they went to America. Were they picking cotton, or they were building houses and building the streets, doing all of the engineering work and doing all of these things? We need to know that for a fact. And one thing I got information just now, the information that there was a man, the man who came up with the idea of skyscraper was a white man named.
Are you there, Kato?
I'm here.
Oh, we lost you there for a second. You said
I said
you got information on a man.
I said yes. I said the man who came up with the idea of skyscraper in America was a white man named William Le Benet Genet.
Of course, because white people are the ones that can fly high. We just gotta be honest. We didn't see 2-story buildings in Africa where the blacks came from. But go ahead.
So, and the engineering work that was carried on in America, that's why I said we got to know the work that the slaves were doing first before we get to know, right? But the information I got was they really contributed to America too. So that's why I said there are some things I disagree with the pastor on, because what I know for a fact is they did some work, but the work they did it as slaves. They were flocked to do it. So, and it's not something
See, Kedo.
So, but what work they
Kedo,
were doing?
Kedo,
Yes.
I have worked as a builder, construction, and in these skyscrapers. I can tell you 100%, you cannot whip people to build things like this. It is people that are willing to do it. You see, the free people are the ones that can build this. I have worked in this. You see the introduction of my video. You see me, with, in construction, right?
Yes.
I've done lots of construction, and in skyscrapers, the big skyscrapers you see. And I can assure you, you cannot force people to do this. It's not gonna go well.
So that's what. I'm agreeing with you now. I'm also agreeing with the pastor to a large extent, because one thing I learned was they never educated their slaves. So if they never educated their slaves, where were they getting an engineering education from to build America? So
Good question. Good question.
So
let's bring in Civilized Man too. Civilized Man, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Yeah, greetings to everyone on the panel.
Yeah, Civilized Man, are you what's your take on Pastor Manning? The interview, he pointed it out. You see it. He asked the man, about this New York skyline, and he pointed at buildings. Are you shocked, surprised, or mad at Pastor Manning for pointing this out? Which one is it? Or are you just disappointed, thinking that your whole life you in South Africa thinking the blacks are the ones that built this, only to come and hear the truth? Go ahead.
As for being lied to about how effective the blacks are, I would say not really. I never really believed that they were.
Oh, wait, you've never believed the blacks were effective?
No, I live here in South Africa. We have white people here, so I know the difference between,
Oh, okay. So you got the Dutch over there, the ones that built New York, mostly, most part.
The Boers are like Dutch, French, and German mixed together. So
there you go. So it's the same people. Oh, okay.
So I found it interesting, but I was surprised that he said not a single building was built by
you saw him ask the man to point it out, right? And if you look at it, the ones that are even in the chat getting mad, they cannot name you things. If they name you a building, the building doesn't exist. you know the beauty about America, everything is like recorded, right?
Oh yeah, there's good.
So
Yeah.
so the buildings,
So,
the people that build it, their names are on the building. That's the beauty. And I can assure you, I never saw Tyrone Smith on a building, but go ahead.
So I thought like they were at least like given how large.
Gemma Cuevas on a building. Go ahead.
So I thought like there would at least be like a couple, like there'll be some like black real estate firms or construction companies, stuff like that. But the way he said no so quickly, it's like he's completely certain about it. Like he doesn't believe like there's a single building that was built by blacks. So I found that interesting. Is this the situation throughout the entire country, or is it just New York?
Yes, everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I mean, like, what about where?
You know, they tend to be maybe not a majority, but a much larger minority in the South. So I thought like if they are like concentrated together.
Most of the blacks live in the South. Okay.
Yeah, I thought like
Mississippi,
if they were like a large number in one
so
area.
all you gotta do is go. Go. If the blacks could build that, they would have built it in Mississippi, or Alabama, South Carolina. You see. So
there's not like if I go to their hoods in like Mississippi, they didn't build the houses there, nothing.
The hoods, the place they call hoods today, were with these projects. They was built by white people. So when the blacks came from the South in the 40s, they called it the Great Migration. So majority of the blacks were fleeing. You know how like they had the rebel war, civil war. So they were like the first refugees.
So the government built them houses.
No, they were fleeing. They fled the South. So the projects are more like refugee camps that eventually became their homes.
So the rest of but whenever I check like where they live, they look suburban. So is it like the places where they live, they look suburban, like houses,
No, it's built. It's like built like European white standard.
Yeah. I noticed that. So those were those were white neighborhoods that they moved into.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have something called white flight, where like blacks like to, they like living close to the white people. So they come over there, they start, destroying the white neighborhood. Then the whites move and go create another place, like Orania, stuff like that. And the blacks will follow them again. Just, something like that.
So what if like I went and asked the average black American, like, can you point to me a house in the US that was built by you guys? He won't be able to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, in fact, we have a all black town. They bought lands just like Orania. We would do a show on that. It's been a couple years now, so we'll see their progress. It's a bunch of black women. So we all know
Freedom, Georgia.
Yeah, we all know what the results will probably be. But let's bring.
So what about Atlanta? Oh, I still have some questions. Like, what about Atlanta, Georgia? I heard it's the black Mecca.
It was built by white people too.
So what success do they have in that city? Like, why do you call it the black Mecca?
Well, because there's a bunch of blacks there.
No, like I'm talking about why they say Mecca. Like they talk about it being a place for
there's
black
a county, for example, if white people want to, leave the county, the blacks, they would fight and say, no, the white people can't leave because the white people are the builders and they're the ones with the money. If white people leave, the place would go bankrupt.
Okay, so the successful blacks in Atlanta basically just work government jobs.
They are rent there. They're on rent. The white people build it. The blacks, they put them on rent. Be subsidized by the government. They are rent there. And the blacks, they build nothing there. They are farmers, plantation farmers. They pick cuttings. They gather the potatoes. They put it on top of the horse back. The horse push it. They drop it somewhere for the master. They go back again. They started doing these things that the ancestors know. It's not a shame. There's nothing wrong about it. The blacks never built castle. We learn how to build some block buildings from the white man when they came to Africa. You understand? So there's nothing shame about it. So these Negroes that are running around the United States and in the internet, they say we build America, all these buildings, we build it. Donald Trump built more than the blacks that were there for 500 years old. Donald Trump built Manhattans. Donald Trump built some of all the. Don't you see the builder of Donald Trump? Even the white people that built United States never said we built United States. Those that achieved never talk about see what they did. You understand? But those that they achieve always say, "Oh, we built this, we built that, we built the White House." Negro, your ancestors have never built that kind of building for very. Your ancestors have built that kind of. You see, that pastor was right. Say, their ancestors never built such a building before. You understand me? It was the white man that built
Okay,
it.
I get it.
And so,
Yeah,
so
I have a
don't,
question for Musa.
so don't come and praise
Musa,
people like that. Yeah.
All right, civilized man. Let's bring in
Yes, brother.
Vanta.
Yes, brother.
Vanta, welcome
wait,
to
let
the
me ask him,
African.
and then I want to step in.
Hold on,
Sorry, I want to step in.
hold on. We'll come back to you, but let's allow Vanta to give his point of view. Vanta, welcome to the Afridamus report.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me properly?
Loud and
good?
clear. Yes,
Perfect. Thanks for
Vanta,
having me on Afri. Yes, sir.
did you get the opportunity to hear what Pastor Manning had to say?
Yeah, I did not. But can you summarize? Can you make it?
Well,
Like, what
Pastor
did he
Manning
say?
is disagreeing. He pointed to the New York skyline and he asked the guy, showed him all the buildings, if there is any he can point to and say blacks built it. There was not a single one. So are you shocked that the blacks did not build?
No, I knew this. I knew this for a long time. I knew it. I'm
You know
Somalian,
it?
by the way. I'm Somali,
Yes.
and I know the Black American did not build New York City. I know that for a fact.
No,
And also-
America. Because
okay,
you see,
okay, yeah.
how did you know?
Washington-
How did you did you just take a look at them and come to the conclusion?
Oh no, because I know mainly the builders were Italian and Irish, mainly, like in America, and before then it was the whites, like the original founding
Dutch.
stock
They were
whites,
Dutch.
the Dutch, German, yeah, exactly. Like if you look at Minnesota, a part of Minnesota was built by the Scandinavians. There's there's a big Scandinavian population in Minnesota, and if you look at
So are you yes. like mad or disappointed in Pastor Manning telling the truth?
I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed. I'm glad because at least he's being honest. He's telling the truth. He's like, you know what? This is the reality. Can't lie about it. You can't make up stuff. These Black Americans like FBAs, they say, "Oh, we built America. We built America." I'm like, I don't believe you. Even the railroad was built by the Chinese. The Chinese railroad.
Right.
So the only thing the blacks were their position was either customer retail or customer service work. But construction was always white, Italian, Irish. Simple as that. And I think Pastor Manning is 100% right. I'm sorry, he's right. And if any FBA has an issue with that, then God help you.
You notice he did not even know who FBA is. So FBA is not even relevant to Pastor Manning. He never heard of them.
I think who was it? Was it Ola or Musa who said FBA is not recognized outside of the internet? Like no one says FBA outside of the internet. It's always online on these streams. Like FBA this, FBA that. And before FBA, there was ADOS, Afridamus. Remember ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves. What happened to that term?
Yeah,
it just disappeared. Poof. Now we're saying FBA. Like every time I have to learn a new word for the Black American, they come up with their own term. I am ADOS. I am FBA. I am this. I am that. They seem confused, Afridamus. They are confused people. They don't know their history properly. They have no ties. Like, oh, I'm going back to Africa. I'm like, where in Africa are you going to go to? Like, where are you from exactly? Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso. I'm going to go to Burkina Faso. Why are you going to go there? who do you have in your family that comes from Burkina Faso?
But see, Marcus Garvey, Marcus Garvey was trying to get the blacks out of here and take them to Africa. Pastor Manning talked about that. you know, and Pastor Manning denies that America is running building. He said because America is, you know, one of the greatest countries that's ever existed. And I think I agree with that. You know, I think definitely it's one of the greatest countries on this side of heaven as we speak. So so would that mean the blacks, you know, these civil rights, they were just removing them from their blessings that they're getting from the white man? And Marcus Garvey was trying to take them to Africa.
Right. And did they not go to Liberia? Wasn't that the experiment? The Liberia experiment?
Yeah, that was in the 1820s.
1820s. And then what happened? It didn't work out. It was a mess.
Right.
And until this day, like I just don't like lies. You know, just be honest. Say America was built by mainly Europeans. I don't even need to say white. I would say European. You know, Irish, Italian, such and such. But FBA's, you know what? They can't, like someone said, do they have the building? Is there an African American name on a building? No, mainly no, nothing. So with that, Afrodamus, at that point, I'll that's why I have to say I'm going to stay quiet. You guys carry on. Thank you.
Afrodamus, I have a point quick, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, you know, there are some things that I disagree with you on to that I want to share. You know, this is a learning platform, right? You know, we're all like allies. Most of us right now here we're allies, but there are some things that we may not have the same agreement with, right? So one of my things that I disagree with is talking about black, you know, about black Africans' accomplishment in the past. Black Africans, the ancient Egypt, you were talking today, you said that ancient Egyptians, it was not have nothing to do with sub-Saharan African. For that part, I will tell you no. Because if you even look at the war, even anybody, you just have to have the one of the senses of seeing, just sight. By seeing the depictions on the wall, you know straight that those are black Africans. Do you know how you can know when you go to Southern Egypt and when you go to Sudan, not South Sudan, Sudan and Southern Egypt? Those two places, the parent. I'm coming. Let me end my statement, please.
Hold on, Kedo. I know, you know, where you're going. I've studied this and I know it. I mean, let's just give it up. They were not black. Blacks did not build it. Let's just agree and move on. They did not build it.
All right. So, all right. Let me end my statement first.
Hold on, bro. Let me tell you this. You see, when you live in Africa fully, you never travel out. You listen to this garbage from Dr. Oman and all these guys for Tariq Rashid and all these guys that speak garbage out of their mouth. You see that New York you're talking about, Harlem, these are named from Holland. From Amsterdam in Holland, it's about 15 minutes car drive to a place called Harlem. You understand? It's just 15 minutes by car or by bus. All the names
all is right. 100% you're right.
All the names you see in New York, all the way to New Jersey, these are all Dutch names. You understand me? So when you see, they say this is Harlem. These are typical in Amsterdam. If you take the bus or you just drive by car, you just Harlem in the Netherlands is a very big territory, also full of all kind of historical buildings, beaches. You know, called the Sanford Beach. You go everywhere. It's a very beautiful, very beautiful, full of canal. If you go to a place called Zwolle, full of canal, beautiful territory. That is far from Amsterdam. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: is that I've seen what the white people have built. I've seen the way they do things. You have to learn it. You have to inherit it from your ancestors. Yeah, they trained their generation to do a lot of things. You feel me? So these are not guys that play with anything because they're under the sea, they're under the water. They build both, you know, every time they're doing a lot of things. They have built this after 50 years, they will destroy it. They have built it after 100 years, they would, you know, just destroy it. You understand? So these are people who check water, who check a lot of things every time. The contemporary Dutch people, they also inherited what the ancestors have been doing for very, very long time.
Hola, you've heard Pastor Manning. You've heard. Hold on, Kedo, hold on.
On Sunday today. Yes.
Kedo, hold on. I get it. You were talking about, we just gotta be realistic here, okay? For example, when you go to Australia is built just like Europe, right?
If you give me chance to prove my point for 1
wherever
minute,
you go,
then
but
just give
what
me
I'm saying,
one minute. Just a minute. Let me just tell you. Let me just share my argument with Marcus.
You have,
All right, 30 seconds.
because you see, like your disagreement with the topic that is brought here, you gotta know these topics are well researched and people are allowed. You can come in and give your viewpoint and facts, but it's not based on whether you agree with me or not. The topics would still come.
All right,
if you have facts, you are free to, no, I'm not gonna prevent you from, speaking your facts. That's what the topic is about.
All right. So, right? When you go to Southern Egypt, the architecture, when you go there, just ask for, or anytime you have the chance, just travel to Southern Egypt and ask for the Nubian architecture styles. The Nubians people, the architectural styles they build there, it is the most beautiful architectural styles in all of Egypt. In fact, the people there, when you ask them, they will tell you that their ancestors used to build places like that before. And when there was a time when the Europeans attacked Nigeria, northern Nigeria today, these places, they have building that was similar to, that has some similarity to those buildings. But the Europeans destroyed it because they never wanted those evidence to be shown. And do you know that yes,
have you noticed you're doing the black talking point? You guys always say, they destroyed it. If you're a builder, it don't matter. If they destroyed, you can rebuild. No one's stopping you. How come it's only black people? Hold on. It's only black people who claim to have built something thousands of years ago, and then now the skills disappear. We can only go by. Hold on. We can only go by what we are seeing and what we can benefit from, and what is standing. Like before the European came to Africa, there is not a single country in Africa today that had railroad or correct constructed road or anything like that. It didn't.
No, I'm not saying railroad. I'm talking about architectural stuff.
There was none. It did not exist. That's my point.
All right. So the ones that are in Mali now, do you know that there are buildings in Mali that Europeans saw that those design and carried those designs to Europe and made it more advanced? And the Malians are still building those buildings?
Where in Europe?
In London.
London. Show me one building that was built after the buildings in Mali.
All right. So when you go to Timbuktu, right?
No. I'm talking. I know those mud buildings they have over there in Timbuktu. I saw those. So you are saying people copy that. I don't know who would copy it, but you said white people in London. Tell me one beautiful building. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, look at that London building. That's from Timbuktu." But maybe you know something we don't know. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm sharing with you. That is why I'm sharing with you, right? When the Almoravids went to Europe,
the Almoravids are Arabs from North Africa.
I know they are Arabs, but they carried along with them Masons to Europe, and some of those Masons that they carry were black Africans. Some of them,
the Almoravids, are not builders. These are just Muslim conquerors. Since when did you know Muslims to be builders? They don't build. They come there, the host, like when they went to Spain, it was the Spanish who are the builders, who are Europeans. So
all right.
The Almoravids did not carry African slaves. So
you know what? That is a long topic of the Almoravids, but let me just stick to the Nubian architectural styles. The day you have the chance, do research on the Nubian architectural styles and see what the Nubians built, even though they got destroyed. Because since you are saying that Africans are claiming that when the Europeans destroyed it, they never rebuilt it, but go and check the Nubian architectural styles and research how the Nubians look. You'll see that the so-called people that they call Nubians today are combinations of the ancient Kushites and ancient Egyptians. Because the ancient Egyptians, when they were conquered,
they are not West Africans, you know, where the blacks came from.
Thank you.
Yeah, but they are black like us. They are black like us. They are black like us.
No, they're not.
Wait.
They are.
Wait a minute.
I can show you.
Are they from, you know, sub-Saharan Africa, West Africa?
They are not from West Africa, but they are from sub-Saharan Africa. Because their history said that, according to the history, they said kings come from the south.
Okay.
Africanus, can I respond to him?
Go
if I may? Kato, the black Americans come from West Africa. They are not Kushite. No, not even 1% Kushite. It's a complete separation. So for you to say, you know, they're Kushites, they're not, sir. They're not.
No, for that one, I agree with that part. I know they are not. I know they are from West and Central Africa. I know. But Aphrodite said today that the ancient Egyptians, they had nothing to do with sub-Saharan Africa. That's why I wanted to share the idea of. I wanted to share the truth, not the idea. I wanted to share the truth.
Even today, Kato.
Yes.
Is Egypt? What connection does Egyptians have with sub-Saharan Africans?
All right. The connection they have with sub-Saharan Africa was.
I'm talking today.
Sub-Saharan Africa built Egypt.
Today, even let's not even, you know, talk about things we cannot prove.
I can prove it.
Hold on. Kato,
yes.
Have you ever been to any of those North African countries?
I've not been there, but I've seen.
Okay, hold on.
I have valid information.
Hold on, Kato. I have, and I've been to West Africa. Not only single country. I've been to several places. They don't have anything in common.
No, the problem there is, let me tell you, even the so-called Arabs that are in North Africa, why do you think the Arabs they're building that the so-called modern Egyptians are building Egypt now? Why do you think they can't model it after ancient Egypt? They don't know how to do it.
Kato, I'm just telling you. Hold on, Kato. Egypt also is not sub-Saharan Africa. You don't have anything in common with those people up there.
No. I have proof that
if you show up there, you will be deported. You will be called.
I think Kato is missing. Kato, hold on, Kato. Aphrodite is from the Soninke Empire, right? The Soninke is the closest who bought that at that time of the empire with this people you're talking about.
Yeah, the Almoravids conquered our kingdom, the Ghana Empire. So I know what I'm talking about.
So the Soninkes, when they withdraw back, the Soninkes are part of them are in northern Nigeria. You understand me? Part of them are in northern Nigeria. Some of these buildings you might be seeing there, you think is this, that. Some of these buildings might be brought back by the Soninke Empire. See, Ghana, you see Ghana. Kuruma stole that name from the Soninke people. Because the name is kind of like a warrior name. We hear about Ghana Empire, these are Soninke people. So we are not connected to whatever you call the Nubians. This is lie. We're not connected. West Africa is not connected to them at all. We have our own way of connection that we share some type of bloodline, together. So what we call about, I saw somebody talk about the Great Benin War, that Benin War was never really a war. The Great Benin War was like a moat that they built somehow to wall away the invasion of the Leife people.
Yeah, you see the Great Wall of China is still in existence.
It's still existing, but the Benin Wall,
the Benin Wall is not in existence because it wasn't a real wall.
It wasn't a real wall. They just built I'm from Benin. I'm an Edo man. They just build it for defense. That it crumble. The houses that still built today, all those days, some of the houses are still there over there. Then the modern ones are still there like that. So if you talk about even the break dance the Black Americans are talking about, Afro-Dama, if you could show the video of the Esa acrobatic dance, you will see that all this gymnastic rolling that is already existing in Africa. My people dance this dance. It's heavily covered up. They call it the Esan dance. It's ESAN. You understand me? You see the way these guys will stand, they will twist in the air and land with double legs, bust back again. These are spiritual dance. These are never really dance of, this is called b-boy dance. Yeah, some of them will be brought to United States. They will sit dance there. We do bronze. We mode bronze. When the British Empire stole those bronze, those guys they even reproduce more better one than that one the British Empire stole. You understand me? So and those parts still existed there. Their children and their children, they call it the Ogun people. That's where this guy called Erika Steve down there called the Ogun Jews.
Yeah, it means Black Africans did some things. So we were not just barbaric.
Ogun mean iron. These are people walk kind of like goldsmith or brosmith. They do knife, they do sword, they can mold human being face, they can cast anything they want to cast and everything. These are casters, you understand me? Doesn't mean Africa will never backward, but they have their own game they were good at. They do their own thing they were good at, you understand me? But building United States, all those buildings you see there, United States, was never them. So don't bring the new
Ola, are you surprised that Pastor Manning mentioned the fact that Marcus Garvey was trying to take them out of America and take them to Africa? What do you make of that statement?
Yes, you see, I think that man was speaking the truth. He never covered up. He said, if you listen to him, where he said his grandfather was a slave. So me to say his own grandfather might come from Africa. You understand me? If his grandfather was a slave, mean to say two grandfather might come from Africa. He never denied that. He's always said the truth. You see, the Negro United States, they actually never want to leave their master. So they cannot leave the pancake behind and some of these things behind. That's why they never actually look for independence. Rather, what do? They conspire against Marcus Garvey and drive him out or do all kind of things.
But Ola, where would Marcus Garvey have? What country would he have taken them to?
Good question.
I don't know. Maybe Congo. Maybe from Liberia. Maybe Maastricht is. You see.
No, they wouldn't let him come to Liberia. The blacks there said he can't come.
Maybe would I take them down to Congo? Because the land there is vast.
Congo was, belonged to Belgium at the time.
Yeah, I think he was looking for a solution for them, because when he came to United States, he saw that they're very docile, and you have to understand, most of these Black Americans have Jamaican and Haitian blood. They might deny it as they want to deny it, you understand me? They might say, oh, I'm not, I'm Black. No, man. The Caribbeans were all flocking to United States at one particular point. They know how to deny things a lot, you understand?
When you say Black Americans belong in West Africa, if I may, real quick.
Majority of them came from West Africa. The other ones came from the central part.
Like Ghana, Nigeria. Should they go there?
Angola, Congo, But we'll try to say is the Black the ones in the United States I'm talking about now. After that was one on that team, I might not even blame the Black Americans also in the United States. You have to understand they were also breeding them also in the United States also. So they might not really want to leave United States because they will be, kind of like having some kind of things going on there between the man and the woman there. That's what I said. I always say one thing: take the Black of United States out of returning back to Africa. They cannot. They're not used to it. They are not. These are people who drink tea. We call it tea and bread. They eat pancake. When the Jamaicans were making and doing other things, the Jamaicans were looking for their yam to eat, working hard with the cutlass, and say, "God damn, I don't want the white man do me this, the fighter and everything, the other Caribbeans. This black man was looking for on top of the dining table to eat and prepare the chair. And as a white man, sir, you still have the wine in that jar for me to drink some. So you can't blame them. It's the way they find themselves. That's why that man was yearning to see a black American that come from the one that have that French name, from Haiti, you know. He was looking for
Ola, you think so to look for bravery, they gotta look up to the Haitians?
Yes. Yeah, because the Haitians are the ones. You can see person like barbecue. What is he doing there right now? You see, you are like your ancestors. You understand me? You are like your ancestors. You can see a guy called barbecue. See what he's doing there? He get pissed. He said, "No, I'm going to rule this place now." You understand me? The Asians are fighters. You have to understand them. Some of them have the descendants of the one from Dahomey Empire there. You understand me? We saw a group of other ones from maybe from the Alafin, and some of them from Benin Empire, and some of them from Ashanti side.
Kidola, a lot of us came from mainly Nigeria, like the Hausa, the Yoruba, the Nupes, the Igbos, the Kalabari. That's where we mainly came from.
Okay,
and also Benin Republic. Yes.
Okay,
you're
so
right.
some of them fight and free themselves. Okay, they might be defeated later, but they shows what they call braveness, and that braveness, that's what you can see mostly with some of these Caribbeans. And some of you can see, look at the African man that say, "I'm the king of what Kabbalah. I just want to stay in the wood." I say, "I'm the king. You can't do me nothing." The Negroes can't do that. You know, in United States, they're very scared, but they're very big in mouth. They all what they know how to do is to roast you.
So they didn't build the skyscrapers.
You can say they pick the cuttings. They can't even build the train. They have to import the Chinese to do some of this job. You understand me? How can you build such the measurement of things? The Irish did it. The white people did it. The Dutch, the French, the Germans. Then the Irish, then the Italians later came to, meet them up. You understand me? That's why if you go to Egypt, you talk about today, the Egyptian people, because they mix with the Greek, the people from the Alexandria. That's why you see the Egyptian palace, empire, palace over there for their kings and everything.
Don't forget Rome, Ola. Don't forget Rome. Romans.
These are not what you hide. You don't hide all these things. You are like your ancestors. If you're weak, you're weak.
Ola, look at someone like African goddess that call herself goddess, say, "Stop calling people cotton pickers. It's disrespectful." But African goddess, what is disrespectful about somebody picking the cotton? Someone has to do it. Not acknowledging the truth. That's what's disrespectful. Didn't you hear Pastor Manning letting you know his grandfather was a cotton picker? What's so disrespectful about that?
After that one, my grandmother was having a cotton farm. She would make her own dress, white dress. I follow a lot of times to pick some of this cotton. She would make dress out of it by herself. That's my own grandmother. You understand me? So we Africans already have experience about turning cotton to be clothes and and all these things. That's what Africans could do. Some of all these clothes like kente. Yoruba we call it ashoke and adire and all these clothes that African people are wearing. It's true cotton. Some of all this has been made from. So that's why they could pick them, take them to United States, do the cotton farm and do all that things. The potatoes were very strange to them. I think they also taught them the potatoes in United States, but the rice and the cotton and some of other things like that. Yeah, they took those ones. That's what they were doing in Africa before. No shame about it. You didn't do it. If you'd have do it now. If your ancestors was a warrior in the United States, you'd have been a warrior too. Just like what barbecue is in Asia, in Haiti today.
Thank you. Let's bring in Charlie. Charlie, are you shocked, disappointed at Pastor Manning for coming out here and saying the blacks did not build America?
Am I shocked? Can you repeat that?
Are you shocked or disappointed? Oh, you've already known that.
About what?
The blacks not building America.
Am I shocked that this pastor disagrees that the blacks built America?
No, they did not.
That they did not build America.
Yes.
He disagrees that they did not build America.
Yes, he said the blacks did not build it.
Oh, he disagrees. So he thinks that they did build America, right?
No, he doesn't think they did.
Oh, he doesn't think they did, and he's from America?
Yes.
Well, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that are friends with Tariq that are going to not like him. FBA is not going to like him for that.
Yeah. He doesn't even know them.
I mean, I think they probably played a well, Vanta, I got on late, so that's why I didn't know. I just got on.
Okay, so you don't know.
No, but listen, Abradamus, what I want to say is that I think they did build America to a certain degree, because how could they not if they were here for so much time?
Right. Yeah, if you had seen like the interview, that would have helped quite a bit, so you know what he actually said.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, let's bring in St. James. St. James, welcome to the Afrodamus Report. St. James, unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. So, St. James, what do you think about Pastor Manning, you know, disagreeing that blacks built America? He pointed out at the New York skyline. He stood there with this guy, showed him buildings. He couldn't point out one single building that blacks built. So, what's your take on this?
Why, Afrodamus, man. Wow, man. Watching this video, I was like, yeah, I was taken back, man, because I believe that's New York, right? That's Harlem.
Yes.
Right. And, when I watched the video, I went back and checked, to see if someone wanted to challenge Pastor Manning. And I'm not seeing anybody. And then that's the East Coast of that's the East Coast. So if you don't believe Pastor Manning, I think he can be challenged, right?
Right.
No one wanted round two with Pastor Manning. No one wanted to be on the news with Pastor Manning. Pastor Manning still has the church, and his church is known. He's known. No one wanted with him, but they wanted it with Africans, though. That's the thing. They want it with Africans,
Yeah.
but they don't want it with Pastor Manning. I don't get it, right? So what he said, man, I was surprised, man. He asked the guy, like, the country, the place, you from there. Can you point out to something that you believe our people built? He said, no, I don't. And he point out to the old neighborhood he's in. Like, okay, he took, like, come on now, like, where do we want to go? So I mean, it's crazy, bro. I wanted to see people challenge Pastor Manning. I was reading someone in the chat called Philip, and I think you call him out. I'm like, okay, come talk to us. He says working. This is Sunday, man. What are you doing on the Sunday working? Call us, man. We can have a good discussion. You can't be typing a lot in the chat, and you seems to be knowledgeable, but we are calling you to help us understand, and you don't want to do it. So please do, man. That would be helpful.
Exactly.
I will say one thing. Afrodamus. I'm learning a lot. Like, I'm learning a lot from these guys on the panel. Thank you, man. I'm just learning.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Let's bring in Prince Louis.
Hello, sir.
Louis, welcome to the Afrodamus Report.
Well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You sound muffled, like you are somewhere in the basement in Buckingham Palace somewhere. Tea and then the crumpet.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best. I normally call in on my phone, but I'm having problems when I edit my thing. When I go in there, it's complicated. So I'm using my laptop. So I'm gonna try.
Yeah, you're going in and out too. But yeah, go ahead. Give your point of view quick before you get snatched by Andrew down there.
I'm enjoying the topic, but why I rang in is because of Ola and what you said, brother. Listen.
Okay.
When it comes to some of our views, you have to realize that we were completely under colonial education, and you cannot continue with colonial education. At some stage, you have to evolve. Okay. You stop telling people that we were not the people in Egypt. Stop it, please. It's an embarrassment. Okay? Black people were the people of Egypt that were conquered by white Arabs. So please,
So,
okay, Ola, you gotta
so wait,
right?
wait a minute. So the Arabs conquered Egypt in like 632, I believe.
680.
Okay,
They
see, even later, right? So are you telling me that
conquered
hold on,
Egypt,
the Ghana
Libya.
Empire, hold on,
Uh-huh.
the Ghana Empire, the first empire,
Yeah.
started, by Soninkas, went back to the 7th century. So that tells you that, us, the people they call the sub-Saharan, already existed where we are, the regions where we are
were the
at.
ones
And
in Egypt.
hold on.
Right.
Hold on. But there is no proof that we were the ones
Okay.
running Egypt. There's no proof of it
That's
because we would have repeated.
told
We
you
would
about
have.
proof?
Hold on. We would have replicated the same thing in West Africa, but there's no proof of this, sir.
No. We did bring much of what we have.
Like, give examples.
I'll prove it to you. Okay. We traveled, and you can lose knowledge. It's simple. Okay. We're talking thousands of years ago. All right. We moved down into the interiors of Africa. Okay.
That's the only thing you have problem with.
No.
So you're doing the Pan-African talking point.
No, because we've got the proof, but how can you guys don't even want to look at the proof? It's very simple. Well, let's do a little experiment right now. We can prove right now on your channel right now that was us in West Africa.
Hold on. Let me let Ola respond, because you mentioned him.
No. Let me make my point first.
Well, we don't want to deviate. We would do an Egyptian show. Hold on. We would do Egypt show, and I will bring Arabs to come and talk too. But go ahead.
No problem. Bring them. I'll make sure you email. I'll be more than welcome to do it. But let's do a little experiment right now and end this rubbish, because it's embarrassing when West Africans come on here and embarrass themselves. Okay? It's very simple. I want you to go on Google right now, brother, and type in the throne of King Tut. King Tut, Tutankhamun.
I've seen it and read about it.
Okay, let's do it now. Yeah, very good, very good. Go now on Google right now, brother.
Look, I'm very familiar with it. Hold on.
Right.
I'm very familiar with it. Hold on. I'm very familiar with it.
Right.
I've been to the exhibition. Hold on. I've been to the actual exhibitions and all that. Look.
Right.
I'm not about to Google anything. I'm just saying. It is very clear, that civilization does not exist anywhere in West Africa. And there's no proof of it anywhere.
Listen, brother, that's not the point. That's not the point here. You deviate.
Well, that's the point.
I'm telling you.
Look,
hello.
Look,
right? How
Louis,
do you know that?
Louis, you live in the UK, right? Hold on. You live in the UK, right? And you're from Ghana originally. Did you forget how to cook banku?
No, I didn't.
Just because you moved.
My children, if I go marry a white woman or another black person that doesn't know my culture,
but there are many second gen. But you know plenty of second generation Ghanaians who are cooking banku, right? Hold on. Well, wait. To cook banku, you gotta have the knowledge.
Time.
But hold on. But you have to have the knowledge.
No. Yeah, right.
So wait, how did this hold on. How did these West Africans, quote unquote, lose their knowledge? When they went to West Africa, did they marry white people there?
Because if you don't write things down, you forget it. We were not writing things down.
But you were amongst each other within you're amongst each other.
Brother, please, let's finish this very simple.
Hold on. We would do the pyramid. We would in fact, Louis.
I know
Hold on, Louis.
Because we sound ignorant, right?
Hold on, Louis. I promise you. Hold on, Louis. I promise you, I am going to do a show on on the
Very good.
pyramids, okay, and how the
Right.
blacks did
Yeah.
not build it. And you know, you
Right.
can call
I'm
in
not.
on
I'm
that
not talking
day.
about the
Hold on,
pyramid.
hold on,
That's just one
hold
of it.
on, hold on.
You
You
want to
can
know?
bring
You want to know? Who's saying that we were not in Egypt? Let's
right.
prove it.
Okay,
Simple. Just
that's
go
what
on
I'm
Google right
saying.
now, brother.
That's
And
what I'm
type in
saying.
the
I'm going
throne
to
of King
do.
Tut.
Hold on. I'm going to do the show, and on that day you will get
Yep.
the opportunity to present your
Yep.
facts. Okay? Do you agree
I
to
will
that?
do. This is a very
Okay.
simple fact, and we
All
can
right.
shut
No
it down
problem.
now because it's embarrassing, right?
Okay. No
Just
problem.
go on Google and type in
Well,
the
well,
throne
well,
of
I
King
will
Tut.
do the show. No problem. I
You
will
see, you
do
don't
the
want to do
show.
that. You see, this is where you go funny. You see, now
No.
there you go.
Well,
Right?
well, because
It's very simple.
that would get
Just
us. It
show
would get
King
us
Tut
off
and
the
who he
topic.
was and his people.
Yeah, can I go back to my case now?
No, I'm not
Louis.
getting you off the topic because you
No,
guys coming
Louis.
on
It's
the
Louis,
not
platform
Louis.
about
telling us
Louis.
that
Louis.
people didn't
Louis.
do nothing.
Louis, it's not about Egypt.
Go
We
ahead.
would do the
Go ahead.
Egypt show another day, okay?
It is embarrassing when
So,
you have
so
a
you
fully
saying
grown
so?
West
This is
African man,
who
fully
this
grown
who
West
is this
African man,
embarrassing
denying their
to?
roots and denying
Wait,
history.
let me
Right? It's
ask you this.
embarrassing to you and
Hold on, let me ask
and
you.
all
Let me hold on.
right?
Let me ask
You
you
make
this.
blanket statements.
Hold on. So Pastor Manning said the blacks did not build America, and
Well,
you
he
know, it was in an
apologized for that
interview.
later on.
Is that
In America,
embarrassing too?
no, that's a different subject. I didn't come in.
Right?
I'm
No,
talking about
hold
that.
on. But that's the
That's not why I'm
subject
taking
here.
this show.
Hold on.
Yeah,
We will get to. We
I'm-
will get to it. So
Uh-huh.
the blacks, Pastor Manning, who himself is a black American, his grandfather, the man is 78 years old. His grandfather was a slave, and he himself worked alongside his grandfather as a child. You know, when his grandfather was a sharecropper. You know what a sharecropper is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a farm
So directly his grandfather was a slave, then became free. So he speaking directly to the core of this American history. So he's the one letting us know that in fact the blacks did not build America. What is your take on this, Louis?
I agree with him. Blacks didn't build
You
America.
agree
We
with
were
him that the blacks didn't build?
I agree with him. We were forced labor. Okay, but where Egypt is concerned,
where was the first labor at?
You've got to stop.
Where did this first labor? Hold on, Louis.
I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about the statement you guys been making for 10 minutes in a show that I rang in for, and that was Egypt.
So you didn't
people
like
that look like you were the kings of Egypt.
They didn't look. Here's my
before
thing.
Ghana, let me just say, before the kingdom of Ghana, Egypt was there before all that. We evolved from there. We evolved and came down.
So wait, Louis. So those Africans, they used to know how to write. They have written letters in Egypt. Then
we invented writing, the hieroglyphs. We wrote the Hebrew text. That was us. That's all black people.
And then what happened?
You know how we know this?
And then
how we know
hold on, Louis, one at a time. Louis, how come we don't have lettering today then?
Because you lose it. You can forget it. You lose it. If you don't keep it up. You didn't keep it up. It's simple as that.
Apadamus.
Yes.
The idea that some Africans don't want to accept who they are, and they want to tether themselves to Kemet all the time is showing why we are now progressing on the continent.
Okay, let me prove
are we going to have this circular conversation on a Sunday for 5 hours? Listen, man.
You gotta let him talk though.
Listen.
The man is because he's continuing the same.
But Louis, you gotta let the man talk though.
These are the UK. This is the UK. This is the UK source, man. Whenever the UK source call into an American show, man, those are the kind of conversation we get.
I'm from the UK, sir. I'm from the UK.
Not all of you. Not all of you. We got quite a few. Because out of everything that has been said, right, he has a problem with Egypt, right? The guy
Who said it was
clearly
about Trump? I don't have a
stated to
problem with it.
you
You've got a problem
out
with
of respect, like
Right.
we're gonna do a show where you can call in and we can
I
debate now.
understand
But the
that.
guy said
I've
we ain't
called him.
stopping that.
I've called him.
So the topic is not about Egypt. Relax, bro. Just relax. Relax. Relax.
And then James, notice that the
Relax.
people who like to force this Kemet thing are the ones who
Yeah.
were born in the West.
Hold on, Lewis.
And Ola,
Hold
made a
on,
ridiculous
Lewis.
statement, and it's embarrassing.
Hold on,
Well,
Lewis. Fine, Lewis.
It's Pastor. We are talking about Pastor Manning.
Hold on, Lewis.
That's what we are doing.
We agree. We agree. It's embarrassing to you, but we are going to do the Egyptian show. You know, yeah. Hold on, Lewis. I would do a special Egyptian show. The Kemites can call in. You, the Kemites, can call in.
2 minutes. It would only take 2 minutes for you to do this.
Yo,
argument down.
yo, Afrodamis, tell Supergirl to be your co-host.
Huh?
Yeah.
Tell Supergirl to be your co-host when you're doing the kinetic show.
Supergirl. Oh,
Yeah.
why? Because that's Supergirl's people that built the pyramids. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, possibly she's Egyptian. Yeah,
Right.
Oh, she's Egyptian. Oh.
yeah, she's an Egyptian woman.
I can speak Arabic. I can speak Arabic, so I'm down.
Hold on. Let me read what Supergirl responded. Supergirl said, "One at a time, please, panelists. We cannot hear a thing. Decorum, please." Supergirl, thank you for the super chat, and you're 100% correct. Someone who's close to Louis there, please make sure you get Louis some English black tea and crumpet, that can help, calm his nerves down. And
then get him some great internet service, man. That AOL, man, we can't keep up with you, man. Got that AOL stuff going on over there. I don't know what kind of internet connection that you got, but you gotta upgrade, man. Get an upgrade.
yeah, get Louis some black English tea and crumpet, please. One black English tea and crumpet for Louis. Louis, we would hold on, Louis. We would do the show. Hold on, Louis. We would do the show, and you would come here and tell us, about how, West Africans did not build the Egyptian civilization. I can promise you that's what's going to happen. Okay, just like Pastor Manning. See. So you are telling us, hold on, you came up here, you didn't even hesitate that the blacks did not build America. If the blacks had the skills from Egypt, they would have built America, but they were growing rice and picking cotton.
You want to build America? You go Africa.
Okay. In Africa, it did not happen. It did not, Louis, it did not happen.
How did you first ever hear about Egypt? From what book did you first hear about Egypt?
Oh, I've read plenty of it. I have actually.
I know, but from what book, what famous story did you first hear about Egypt?
I've even read from the guy you guys like to quote, Seth Antejob. The black Seth Antejob, because they can. Hold on, I've read about. Hold on, I'm giving you because I'm giving you. Hold on. African Goddess, thank you for the 10,000. I think that's Naira. Thank you, African Goddess.
What
for the 10,000 Naira sticker.
Did you first hear about Egypt, brother?
What? Hold on. We would do that. We would do that on the Kemet show. No problem. We would do that on the Kemet show. Okay. Ola, what do you want to say? Actually, what we're going to
that sounds like it's not there anymore.
We're over the 2-hour mark, but let's do our closing statements so that maybe I can come back and do the Cameroonian show. Musa, what do you want to make of this? The topic in your closing, and feel free to talk about the Kemites on the way too.
Listen, when it comes to the Kemite, like the Kemetic we all know that, people of West and Central African descent, they were not the builders of the pyramids, and that's a known fact. And the people that you see in Egypt, like they are the ancient Egyptians, whether you like it or not. I mean, yes, I get it.
Wait, you
Some
mean
of them,
Supergirl's people are the real Egyptians?
You're a fool. You're a
of
fool.
Hold on, Louis, let him
You have no knowledge of history.
Louis,
Right?
let me
You're a dumbass.
finish,
Are the white
bro.
people Zulu? Are the white people Zulu?
Louis, why are you so
fucking idiot.
triggered,
Man,
man?
dumb
You a
fucking
Ghanaian. Louis,
Why you
you and I,
entertaining
we are
idiots like
fellow
this?
West African, man. Come on, bro.
What
You're
part
not
of invasion
ancient
don't you
Egyptian.
understand? What part of invasion do you not understand?
Hold on,
Arabs
Louis, you
invaded
gotta,
before the
Louis,
whites
Louis, you
invaded.
gotta,
So what's the
Louis,
problem?
hold on, Louis, you gotta let
Louis,
him
you gotta
finish.
let me finish,
No,
man.
because you're a black
Wait
man,
your turn,
right?
bro.
You're a black man
Bro,
and you're supporting white supremacy bullshit to your own people. God damn, help you.
wait your
How you
turn,
I'm sorry
man.
for your kids, man.
Louis,
You
Louis,
every
come on,
thing
man.
I was
Listen,
talking to
you're making the
I
British look bad. You're making the British look
open.
bad. God damn. Relax. Let the man finish.
No, the British are
Louis,
knowledgeable.
man, you
That's
have
why I
low
got knowledge
impulse
for this
control,
time I
man.
Look, Louis,
Yes.
Louis, you know that, Louis,
If I was you was in my village, I would slap the hell out of you right now. Talking shit.
Louis,
Oh,
the,
Arabs invaded
hold
us.
on,
What
There's,
do you
there's no
understand,
need
man?
to get violent,
They
Louis. No
invaded
need
us.
for violence. Come on, man.
hold
No
on,
need
you
for
hold
will
on,
do
violence.
no
guys,
such
Violence.
thing,
Man,
Louis.
you can't be
Watch your
speaking
mouth,
2025
hold
like
on,
that.
Do no
guys,
such
That's
thing.
why Africa is
guys,
still where it is. My friend
yeah,
is yours. I'll put
hold
my
on,
fist in
guys,
your
Louis,
fucking mouth.
Louis, one at a time, one mic. Louis, you would get the chance to, give your point of view. I mean, like, I know that Egypt was
That's why Africa is
colonized.
behind.
Hold on.
Can you
Egypt,
get this guy off with that, miss? Put him in the back or something,
yeah,
man. He's
Egypt
very
was
distracting.
we wouldn't do the Egyptian history today because we would be off topic, but I promise that we would be doing the Egyptian show. And please, guys, make sure you let all the blacks, the foundation of blacks in the UK know that we will be doing the Kemet show on that day. We want you to bring all the ammunitions you got. And here's the thing. We know that the people that colonized Egypt, the Greek did, the
Romans,
the Romans, the Arabs, the Turks.
Muslims.
But here's the thing. Here's one thing we know. Clearly, the people they colonized in Egypt are closer skin tone to those people, the Greeks, the Romans, and we know what they look like. I can assure you, they don't look like us. But Musa, continue.
Yes,
And today you can see, for example, I bet you Supergirl, looks. Hold on.
Louis, control yourself, man. Control yourself, please.
Hold on. And I bet you.
You know why I'm not? You want to do it.
Look, I can assure you. Hold on. I can assure you, Supergirl probably looks like a Greek goddess or Italian, goddess. But go ahead, Musa.
Yeah,
she
man.
looks nothing like a Yoruba.
Afrodamus, you lay it out, man. Everything you said, man, is just pure fact, man. I can't dispute that, man. Well said. And shout out to all the panelists and Louis, brother, man. You gotta control your temper, man, because you're gonna scare your wife and kids, man. Please, brother. And thank you, Afrodamus. Great show.
Thank you, Musa.
Yeah, Afrodamus here, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, Ola.
I think the pastor said the right thing. I don't say anything wrong with the pastor said. He just said the truth, and the truth is very, very good. I think all this FBA, that's why I want to attack Africans as bushmeat. They all eat bushmeat. They forget bushmeat is like into the goat family, like antelope and grasshopper, so it's okay. I think the black people should also, the FBA should also understand that they're not that kind of important. I think we just have to tell the truth. The white man that build things doesn't shout, we build plane, we build car, but I'm surprised.
Ola, you wanna address the Egyptian thing also that triggered our Ghanaian warrior?
West Africans and Egyptians are different. You know, the Egyptians are they are far. You can see who they are. You can see the way they look like. Which Ghana warrior? That's what because when that guy was saying, "Oh, this," I said the closest to the border, the people that actually hold, that fight the Arabs, not to come deep into West Africans, are the Soniki. If not that, the Arabs that come close, Mali would not even be Mali today. You know, they have to understand that. So when they start mentioning, oh, Africans are Egyptian, how is it now? Afrodamus is from those that own what called the Ghana Empire. Ghana Empire means the Sonike people. They're the one that fought the Arabs. That's why the Arabs could not go deep.
Yeah, the Almoravids.
They hold Mali up to Libya border to Mauritania. So when you start mentioning Egypt, what is they called those people in Egypt? The Nubians. The Nubians are not sub-Saharan, just like the way they want to trust Ethiopians and Somali to us. We know ourselves. We know who we are. So Egypt, if some Egyptians even mix also with the Greeks from the Alexandria there.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar color people.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah,
that's where you could see some buildings that Egyptians are having. Some buildings you could see some of these buildings that you could see in those castles are being built there because they built those pyramids.
But Ola, why are some of our black West African Kemites doing what the blacks are doing? See, he was quick to say the blacks did not agree that they didn't build America. But if the blacks are builders where they are being forced, they have that knowledge. Don't you think they would have used them to build buildings like the Dutch and French, Irish, all of those people did?
I think somehow when you're weak but you want to be strong with mouth but not really physically, you see, because the blacks actually never did nothing, and some of them they are very ashamed. These modern ones, it is these modern ones are the ones saying it, not the old ones. The old ones know that they did build nothing, but these modern ones, somehow they get ashamed, like, oh, we did do this. Yeah, let's amplify it. We built United States. We built that. Donald Trump even did more in New York than the 500 years the blacks have been there in United States. But you ever hear Donald Trump say, I built Manhattans, I built, no. Even the white people that did all this never said, we do this, we do that. It's already with them. You understand me? They said that's what the blacks also, they always say, oh, we have the way we live. Oh, we live more better than Africa. That's what I'm trying to let. Hey, Negro, where you were staying in the South, your toilet was outside. You didn't have no light. You didn't have no running water. How do you build different? Then they want to come to Africa. Yeah, we live one kind. We live like this. No, man. You didn't live anyhow. Don't come and send me that story. It's okay, but what I'm trying to say is, if the blacks built United States, they would have rebuilt it again in their neighborhoods. They would not have been in rent. They start building these buildings. Yeah, did they build later some buildings? Yes. After learning it from the white, but that takes years. There's nothing wrong about it. Afrodamus, go to where they call where these people are staying. Afrodamus, these blacks that they didn't really temper with. The one they call the Galagichi people. Go there, you see where they stay. The houses, they almost look similar like Africa. Their houses look similar like Africa there. Their cities, the way they live. But they want to be. I don't understand why the blacks. Oh, we fought First World War, Second War. Africans fought First World War, Second World War also.
My grandfather was fought in Second World War. He was a soldier in the British Army.
My own grandfather was also. He was in today called Myanmar. They call it Burma then.
Yeah, Burma. Yes. So my grandfather and your grandfather were in the same troops.
Yes,
they probably knew each other. My grandfather went to Burma too.
Yeah, he said they just picked them and said, yeah, you're looking for a job? Yeah, we can have a job for people. They just check them, try to put them inside the boat and take them down there. That's how the battle starts.
Yeah.
He said it was inside that jungle. When they came back, He moved from the British Army to be a prison officer. You understand me? So there's nothing you do with the white Americans that the Africans did do with the British. You understand me? We did a lot of things also. There's no shame about it. But don't come and sell us a story that we know is just all fake. You know, that man was saying the truth. He said, look, my grandfather is a slave. That means to say is neither the father of that slave might come from Africa or the grandfather. You know, so one of them, you know, so he didn't hide the truth. He didn't say, oh, I understand some of them being missed. No problem about that. If you miss, you miss. No shame
Thank you
about
very
that.
much, Ola. Ola,
Thank you, man.
you know, thank you for this Sunday sermon.
Yeah, bro.
You know, great words of wisdom. Enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. All right. Let's bring in Civilized Man. Closing statement.
Yeah, I would like to start off with the ancient Egyptian stuff. So mostly the people who say this type of stuff are like black people who live in the West. So I think these are just like people who are embarrassed by the fact that their ancestors have not achieved or built anything worthwhile in the thousands of years that they've existed. So this is like highlighted to them even further when they're in the presence of white people. So because of that, they're like, wait, since I come from Africa, and there's this place in Africa that was well built thousands of years ago, let me go and try to claim that in order to make myself feel good or fight off the white people who say that I'm useless.
So wait, Civilized Man. So they don't have some black South Africans in South Africa claiming to be the Kemites?
No, because here in South Africa, we basically, yeah, earlier you mentioned like we didn't build. No, we are contributing to the building of South Africa, so there's no need for us to go and claim Kemet or whatever. We built like world-class malls, schools, hospitals by ourselves. The company that builds trains, the national train that manufactures trains, we are the ones doing it. Like there's no need for us to claim things we didn't do since we are doing things right now.
Right.
You see,
that makes more
so
sense to me.
As for Pastor Manning, he basically confirmed something that I had long suspected. But the way he said it, saying that like not a single building, I was like, what? Like I thought like there would be some. I thought like maybe like one of those NBA players will maybe buy a building for.
Nah, those guys are not builders. See, I'm glad you brought that up. So now it's proven. A lot of those people, like even Jay-Z and all this, they don't really make money that much from rap. It's from the token businesses that the white people give them, like to be able to slap their name on alcohol, clothing, you know. So that's their way of helping them sell the other blacks out. Like when Jay-Z went and told the blacks, convinced them to sell their properties around the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So Jay-Z was the mouthpiece, you know, for the white man to mislead the blacks. A lot of yes, they didn't build the buildings, but they owned it. They bought them. That's how it happens here in America. He went on and got them, convinced them to sell, like something good is coming. So now people are running around saying it's gentrified. But you see, the blacks lost their homes. They had to move. Jay-Z made billions. He didn't make that from rap. He made that from selling out the blacks.
Yeah, with regards to the billions again, so I don't believe that there's any black billionaire in America. I think they're all just like, you know, faces, a black face to a white business. I mean, let's think about the first one, Oprah. How do you become a billionaire from hosting a talk show?
Exactly.
Like, if Oprah is a billionaire, why isn't Dr. Phil a billionaire? If Rihanna is a billionaire, why isn't Taylor Swift a
Dr.
billionaire?
Phil is even better.
It's bigger because his audience is wide. It's bigger and richer. And it goes all the way to Europe.
That's a great question.
The third one is Tyler Perry. This guy makes movies that even black people complain about. His target market is basically is limited to like 50 million blacks in America, 10 million in Europe, and maybe let's say 10 million people here in Africa. So how is he worth $1 billion? But Steven Spielberg, who has been around since the 1970s, is only worth $3 billion. He owns his own studio, has worldwide audience. So this guy's like, I already knew this because similar things are happening here in South Africa. The president Ramaphosa is called a billionaire, but the guy basically was put there as a front to use his political connections to
So it's
protect
like they have them on leash, like Kanye. Remember, like Kanye did not go with the line. They removed couple of digits from him and remove him from billionaire status.
Yeah, with the snap of a finger.
Is it the same thing if like Ramaphosa and others refuse to follow the line? They just be like, okay, we're gonna turn off the paperwork on the computer. You are no longer a billionaire. You might be. I mean, we've seen it happen with Kanye. So, and it's very clear. We see Jay-Z clearly did not become a billionaire by, selling mixtapes or albums. We know
because his music is not that popular.
That's right.
Yeah, so in America, I think it's done more to make the blacks feel good about themselves. So those guys will just get their money taken away from them. But here in South Africa, it's done for the purpose of control, to control politicians.
Thank you very much for your input. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so very much. Alrighty. All right, let's bring in Vanta. Vanta, closing statement.
Yes, sir. I've heard a lot tonight from different voices, different opinions. Some I agree, some I disagree.
And you're in the UK, right?
Yes, I'm in London.
Yeah. What's I mean,
I don't know.
You guys gotta bring your your voices on the Kemites show. I did not know you black UK people are the original Kemites, and bring your tea so you can calm yourself down.
Why do people think like the London means like tea and crumpet? We eat more than fish and chips. We have fish and chips.
Yeah, and baked beans,
lager, Guinness. Yeah. Why does it always have to be tea and crumpet? I don't know. I'm confused.
Well, I mean, that's the easiest to get you to be calm, for you to be calm and stuff,
But yeah, I'm gonna on behalf of for all the UK, I'm gonna apologize for Lewis. Lewis is talking crazy, and I would like, if I may quickly, I don't want West Africans to think they're Egyptian, because Egypt is its own little bubble. And I would say the closest people that can speak on Egypt is the Sudanese, the Nubians.
Right.
That's it. Simple. I don't want to hear Nigerian, Ghanaian, African American. I am Egypt. I am Kemet. What the hell is the Kemet? What's the Kemet? I have no idea. But that's a whole different subject. But yeah, my final thought is like, thank you for having me on, Afridamus. And again, I just want to say, America was built by Europeans. It means Anglo-Saxons, Irish, Italian, mainly, and Scandinavian to some extent. But overall, Black Americans, you guys need to stop with the fake bravado. Jay-Z's a billionaire, like you said, Afridamus. Jay-Z, Kanye, they're billionaires on paper. But someone said in the chat, they said at any moment the government can just take digits away from them.
Right, like they did to Kanye. We saw it.
Yep, because that if you don't speak the right. If you don't say the right thing, you don't move the right way, you're cuts.
Yeah, if you don't speak like Massa wants you to speak,
right?
You start thinking that you can start frying your own chicken to your flavor. They will quickly let you know.
Exactly.
Okay,
like
boy,
I said,
we're about to reduce some of your butter biscuits with hot butter. But thank you very much for coming.
But yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully next time, I would like to get involved in the Kemet discussion.
Oh yeah, I mean, get ready for that. We'll definitely have it here.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Enjoy your Sunday. All right. Okay, St. James, closing statement.
Bro, Afrodamus, man, I really enjoyed the show. I hope everybody did, man. I'm happy that we got some UK folks that called in today. I really appreciate them. And the one that still believe that we are Kemet, we are from there, I don't know what you are talking about. I want to distance myself from you because I know who I am. So whenever you have a conversation, just lump your people to those people. My people ain't coming from that. We don't talk, or we don't
Well,
even
I mean,
discuss those things.
I mean, St.
You
James, you
know.
guys are border over there. I mean, why are you denying your past from
You see,
Kemet, man?
Alpha it has come to a point that Africans have to know who they are and accept who they are. We
Right.
can't keep doing this. Like that's why we are not even progressing. He's talking about progress, right? Progress begin about knowing who you are. You know, that's the first step. Knowing who you are and where you are going. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm from a place whereby I know I'm not. We're not gonna lie to one another. We're not gonna accept that. You know, if you feel like you should be there, then you should take yourself there and then build there. Let Africans who believe they're not from there do whatever they need to do to progress. You know, and I'm happy that you brought Louis. And to those people, like let me talk to those Africans who are not living in America. Any building that's built in America has an history. If you want to know who built it, you know there is a place for you to go and check who built it and why they built it.
It's
You see what
written
I'm
on
saying?
the building too.
It's written there. So we
Yeah.
Africans, we check those names, and those names don't look like our names. So we know we build them.
And
So
some of them, the pictures are there too.
the pictures are there, everything is there. That's why when Pastor Manning asked the guy, he know exactly what he was referring to. Show me. If I say show me, don't point out the building. Let's go inside of it, and then you show me the writings. That's why he's like, yo, I don't know. So that's why they do that to Africa, because they believe Africans are not knowledgeable, and we are knowledgeable. We live in America. We know exactly these buildings have history. You know, that's why we don't get swayed over those conversations. We can't get swayed because we know exactly the background of these buildings. You know, so
St. James, St. James, how many Africans have you met whose name is Tut? King Tut?
Bro. You know what? Unless it's
Nefertiti. I mean, I'm not talking about the Kemite tribes that live here, the blacks that pretend to be anything. You know this is how you know Egyptians are not, you know, sub-Saharan West African, because the blacks claim them. Have you seen the blacks openly claiming, you know, Africa? They claim anything but African.
Yeah, you can see that pattern. Yeah, once you follow and understand that pattern, you know there is something going on in their head. You know, but us living in America, we know too much to not say a lot, man. We can accept it, agree, and move on, but we know there is something wrong in the head. You know, but what can you say, right?
You would say overall, Pastor Manning was the perfect candidate for this
Bro,
Sunday sermon.
if we can do round 2, round 3, round 10, because like I said, we spoke yesterday about the similarities of the show on YouTube, right? Everybody's playing the same thing, talking about it. You know, it's like copying someone and putting. I want authenticity. I want something where you can learn from. But this Pastor Manning, he said something that struck a nerve. And if you are about knowledge and you are about documenting your history, you should be able to confront that guy and tell him, listen, I have other research that I have conducted to prove you wrong. So those are the conversations we would like to hear, instead of taking false narrative and robbing in other people's face because you believe, since they are foreigners to this land, they don't know how to do their own research. So that's something we should look at. I mean, I really appreciate the show, and I hope you bring a lot of authenticity to the people, so we can change the narrative about, you know, certain talking point, because it's all talking point, right? One person said it, 50 people on their channel will say the same thing. Everybody don't become lazy. Everybody want to cheat. Everybody want to sambo. You see the sambos on the continent, right? You see them talking. You know, they haven't produced anything in America, and they run to Africa. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about building. Being on a YouTube doesn't mean you're building anything. You see what I'm saying? Talking doesn't mean you're building anything. They talk about building, but when you ask them, what do you have built? I have nothing. I just build my mouth. You know, we having that.
Exactly.
You know, we can't be having those people, you know, polluting the air for us. But to Louis, right, he gets so emotional, right? After that, can you imagine if the show we were sitting on the plane and Louis was the pilot? Can you imagine where we were going to land? It's tough, man. Like the Africans don't have a sense of direction. You kept telling him out of you being kind, telling him you're gonna create a show so he can talk for 5 hours. Dude don't want that. What kind of human does that, bro? Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, can you imagine? That's why you can't make pilots. You can't be a pilot. That's why you always have somebody else that don't look like you sitting there because he know how to take people from point A to point B. And your ass is sitting there on YouTube being disgruntled. And it's always happened from people of a certain, I don't even want to say the word, but I'm like, God damn, man, you should be looking at your younger brother and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to be the best person to talk to these people and spread some knowledge. But no, they want to be over there, over talk, cut people off. Like, come on now. It's like, come on, let's have some order so we can learn from you. Although I know your shit is BS, but I still listen to it just to make you happy if that's what you want. But I know it's BS. Africans on the continent ain't talking about. Before you move your Afro-Diamonds, have you heard any African talk about we from Kemet?
No.
Go. See what I'm saying? That's the food in Europe, man. The food in America, the food and the drinks, man, makes people start dreaming. Go tell that to the Ashantis, man. See what happens. Use Ashanti. Go tell them that.
Exactly. But thank you very much.
Man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. That was St. James, closing out on the show. I hope you guys have learned a lot here. I mean, I certainly have. I've enjoyed the, Pastor Manning interview. And hopefully, one of these days we'll take the time and visit the Kemet, the pyramid thing as well. Now that we've uncovered who built the skyscrapers in New York and who didn't build it, or in America in general. Now that we've handled that, next we would be talking another day about, the pyramids. So those of you that believe that you're related to the people that built the pyramids, we would hope to see you on the show. Because see, I'm fair over here. I do not want to deprive people from the opportunity of being able to come out here and speak on what they know to be true. And I hope the blacks would enjoy this as well, the ones that claim to be FBA. And look, it's okay. We don't judge. We're not here to judge, and we are not saying the blacks cannot build, but they just did not build America. Can black learn and become builders? Absolutely. Absolutely. That can happen. But see, this here is about education, if you look at it, because because Africans are being deceived, blacks talking about they're builders, and Africans have been waiting, thinking the blacks are going to come, they're going to collaborate and start building together like Chinese, but at least when we know what the truth is, people can finally learn how to do things properly. Okay? And I don't know who's going to be mad or not happy, but the pyramids were not built by blacks. Okay? They might be darker than the actual people, the Europeans. They might have a darker tone because like the Middle Easterns are darker than the actual Europeans. Yeah, that's a possibility. But to say that they are from Ghana, Gambia, and these places, I mean, possible, but I mean, how do you lose the ability, the skills to want to have written language? You can't remember the writing. You're able to study and you're taught all types of writings except quote unquote your own. I mean, it's possible, but we would have to explore it. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday, and I will try to come and see you guys again. All right? I'm out. Peace.
Lend thy ears to the Afri-Damas. Pay attention to the Afri-Damas.
The true Saninke warrior, natural is his intelligence. As a true professor, solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afridamus will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afridamus will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afridamus. Lend thy ears to the Afridamus. Is the truth and no doubt the Saninke warrior.